podcast is part of the Pod Syndicate family. For more criminally compelling shows, articles, and conversations, head to wearepodsyndicate.com.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Welcome, people, to episode 412 of Film Bastards. We're back. We're back after a impromptu missed week. So yeah, we're back, and we have films. We have films to talk about, don't we? Who am I joined by?
You're being very aggressive with your pointing.
I'm pointing at people.
You're pointing at me.
I'm pointing at everything. Who am I joined by?
Oh, me, Becky. Hi, everyone.
And
Ian Loring, hello.
Yes, we are back. Like I said, we missed last week. That was my work's fault. I was in Portsmouth.
Portsmouth.
Yes.
With all the boats.
With all the boats, yes. A man who's terrified of boats. The mere sight of them terrifies him. And so I was sent to a port town to work in a shopping centre.
On a marina.
Yeah.
Did you meet a boat?
I didn't meet a boat, no. What I did have, though, is I was kind of went for a bit of a wander around the shopping centre on the second day I was there, just to kind of like have a bit of a look and see what's there, get a bearings a bit. A bit of a wander around, turned left to walk down, started walking down and was like, what the fuck? Nope. Turned back round and realised I was walking towards the harbour marina bit.
You had a close encounter with a giant anchor, didn't you?
Had a close encounter with a giant anchor, yes.
Yeah.
So I'm in the car. I've set off at like 6 a.m. to do like the 5 and a bit hour that end up in a 7-hour car journey down to Portsmouth. And I'm basically in Portsmouth. I'm about 5 minutes away from getting to the store. And I'm at traffic lights, and I look left of me. And I'm not joking, on a flatbed, there is an anchor the size of a fucking house.
Did it scare you?
It terrified me, because my brain basically went, hang on a minute, I've seen a normal anchor, and I've seen the size of the boats they go on. How fucking big is the boat that goes on? And so that was what hit me in my head.
Pretty damn big.
It is, yeah. Do you actually literally have to drive through the sea to get to Portsmouth?
What?
Oh.
Yeah, you literally have to drive along like a piece of road where it is, the sea is on either side of it. Yeah.
That's exciting.
No,
I'd like that.
you wouldn't.
So-
Because
I
I'd be driving and I'd be just looking forward, going like this. Ah!
Were you on a bridge?
I'm capable of driving.
Nah.
Why am I with you?
What?
Maybe I've just gone to Portsmouth on my own.
Oh, you have a great time.
I will. I'll go look at boats.
Fine, do that.
Go to the Gunwharf Quays.
Yeah, that's fine.
Were you
Have a black-
on a bridge, Mark?
It wasn't. That's not a bridge. That's what I thought. You see, it's not a bridge.
Hang on, no. All right, describe. No.
So what it is, there is a bit of road that is there, and there is a bridge, but the road doesn't go over the bridge. Because I thought this and was like, well, hang on a minute, how can it be in the middle of the sea? Surely you've just cut off part of the sea.
Yes.
But it isn't. Further up, there is a bridge where it goes out from there, but that isn't where the road is. The road comes from a different part.
You're still not explaining it.
Level below the road level.
What?
Is sea level below the road level, or is it like level?
Literally, it's not far off level.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's still a bridge, though.
It's not a bridge though.
Right, but if it's a...
But it's not going underneath it. It's not. It doesn't go underneath it. It's a road that runs through the sea.
It's like a pier or a road.
Yeah,
Nice.
like that.
I
Without-
bet you were terrified.
Without warning.
So, okay, so you're above the sea,
Yes.
and you're right, because you were making it sound like you'd fucking parted the sea.
No, not quite that, but not far off. But yeah, that was weird. It was odd. I'm not gonna lie, it scared me.
Can I ask, when you came to Wales for my wedding, you
Yes.
took the train, didn't you?
No, we drove.
You drove. All right. Because I was going to say, like, if you were coming from Bristol and you have the couple of minutes where you are under, like, where essentially you're going along like what would be the Severn Bridge, but like under the sea. Like, would you just scream the entire time?
Probably.
It is a bit disconcerting. Like, I try not to think about it when I'm doing. So, like, when I took the train back like a couple of weeks back from seeing you guys, I did that, and I try not to think about it. I'd much rather a train track that just goes across by the Severn Bridge, but no, you're under the Severn like crossing. That's very unnerving.
See from The Little Mermaid while you're doing it. Does that not make you feel better?
No, I internally scream.
I would externally scream.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Might go on trains.
Imagine that. A train on the sea.
I'll tell you what, though. Next time you come to Wales, if you have to go across the Severn Bridge, you don't have to pay a toll anymore.
Amazing.
Even though it always made me laugh that you had to pay to get into Wales, but you didn't have to pay to get out of Wales.
It's a bit odd, actually.
Yeah, it is a bit odd.
So what have we got this week, guys? What have we got?
Loads of shit.
Well, we have Candyman. Finally happened. We have Reminiscence. I'm pretty sure we do have Reminiscence. I'm sure Ian watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have The Night House.
Yeah.
I feel like so long ago now.
Yep.
and we have Bird with the Crystal Plumage, as voted for by our Patreons. Remember, guys, you can subscribe to extra content on Patreon/Filmbastards, and we are
Patreon.com/Filmbastards. Sorry.
That's what I said.
Wow.
We are a
Chaotic.
Pod Syndicate. I thought this is not bad for me.
I mean,
Podcast.
We're nearly through it, Becky. Just let him finish.
Other Pod Syndicate podcasts include the Rewatch Project, Shintrek vs. Pun to the Iron Sequel, His Film, Her Movie, Entertainment Landfill, and other bits and bats. Yeah, so we've got bits and bats this time.
Fuck off.
So there we go. That's what we're going to chat. Any news, Ian?
So, a new Expendables universe film has been announced, which is Sylvester Stallone is going to be in it, but apparently Jason Statham will be playing the main character, and apparently it is titled The Christmas Story.
I am very up for that. It's Stallone's directing this one again, isn't he?
I believe so. I believe so.
Because Stallone's been kind of like in the background, but has been teasing this for about a year and a half. And I believe that Stallone has written this, and Statham, I think, might have a co-writing credit on this.
That's terrifying.
That's fucking incredible, is what that is.
Yeah. And I think Stallone is set to direct this. Yeah. Do you know what? I enjoyed the Expendables movies. There'll be a lot of sniping, etc. about it, but the Expendables movies were, especially the first one, were quite popular. I think that the issue the Expendables had is they released 3 of them too close to each other.
Do we need another one?
Do we not need another one? Is what I would say.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know whether that kind of macho reactions just maybe had its time for now.
I disagree.
Okay.
Vehemently. I think it's maybe exactly what we need.
Okay.
Maybe we haven't had enough of that.
Is that
Yeah.
right? Is that where we're going wrong?
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe that Tony Yar is back, but as a different character.
Great.
You can't just do that.
Yeah, you can.
Unless he's like the other character's twin brother.
Well, let me just check to make sure what I'm about to say is not complete nonsense. So,
No guarantees, guys.
no guarantees. So originally in the Expendables 2, Jean-Claude Van Damme's character was called, let me just check this, was called Jean Villain, right?
That's right.
John the villain.
Yeah, John the
Nice.
villain.
Okay.
John the villain, right? Now, The Expendables 3 was supposed to be, the main villain in that was supposed to be his twin brother. Can you guess what he was going to be called?
Claude Villain.
He was going to be called Claude Villain.
Wow.
Fuck's sake, brilliant.
I honestly, that is all I was checking there was the names. I know the other bit of that to be absolutely correct because it's in, I think, the special features for number 3.
Mm-hmm.
But the nice way that was put it, that Stallone literally puts it, was that Van Damme just asked for too much money.
Fair.
And Van Damme actually has corroborated this and has said, yeah,
Yes, I
ask
did.
for too much money.
That's
I
great.
chanced it and went for it, and it backfired terribly on me.
Fucking hell. That's good. That's
Um,
good.
You can't
But
really walk that back either, can you?
No.
there is a good chance that, because Stallone has said, there wasn't a disagreement with this, there wasn't a falling out or anything like this, and I said, that if we do further films, Claude Villain could appear in them.
Nice. I love how your point had nothing to do with Tony R.
No, there was somebody else. That was coming back to it.
Randy Couture.
There's a different character. It might be Randy Couture, actually. Yeah, but there's somebody else coming back who's been in it previously. Who's coming back as a completely different character.
This is why people mock these films, though.
No, it ain't.
It is.
No, it's not.
Because that's a stupid thing to do.
Why?
Unless they're playing the twin sibling of their self.
There's been people in Marvel films who've played dual characters.
Who?
Don't come to mind right now, but I'm sure it's happened.
I mean, that Gemma Chan who played an alien in Captain Marvel so they can make her look like a human and she can be the lead in Eternals.
Yeah, there's somebody else. There's somebody else that played two
Yeah,
different.
but
What is
that
it?
was in like heavy makeup, wasn't it?
She still exists. She still exists,
She wasn't there
Becky.
just looking like Gemma Chan.
Yeah, I mean, you stated something, and I came up with an alternative, and you didn't say that makeup was a factor. So
Your
fuck
point
you.
Bobbins, Ian. Absolute bobbins.
Okay,
Well,
yeah, I mean,
believe-
yeah.
I think there's somebody else. There was somebody else that was in two of them. There was one of the bad dudes in one of them, and then was one of like Thor's mates in another one.
Oh fuck me. All right, you got me thinking
was.
now.
Is it Craig Fairbrass, something like that? Is it?
Craig Fairbrass.
Or somebody like that. It's somebody with a name.
Oh my god, just the way you said that, Ian. So disgusted and like scandalised.
It's somebody.
I just, of all the names, Craig Fairbrass.
Rick Stevenson.
Yes, that's definitely similar to
They're
Craig
very
Fairbrass.
similar looking people. They're both London. Look.
They're both just London.
Yes. They're very
That's their
London
aesthetic.
looking. Yes.
Oh.
I'm sure he was in two. He's in Thor Ragnarok as one character.
Ray Stevenson, yeah, he is in the 4 films, but I'm pretty sure he hasn't been in any other Marvel. Like, well, I don't know. I mean, like, he wasn't he the Punisher in one of the Punishers?
That's it. Yeah. See. There
Yeah.
you go.
It's not the
Quite rude.
MCU though, is it?
Chatting absolute shit.
He was in 2 Marvel movies. Just saying.
Okay, well, I mean, a more obvious example would be Chris Evans, if you're going to go down that road.
Yes, that would be. Yeah. He's been in loads of them.
I mean, as Captain America though.
No.
But
he was
also,
in The Losers, and he was also in
Not a Marvel
Fantastic
But they
Four.
don't count if they're not MCU, so shut up.
Wow.
but yeah, right. Punisher
Look off,
Warzone is
Batman.
not MCU.
I mean, Batman isn't MC anything.
What? Batman could be an MC. He's well rich.
Fuck me.
Batman's DC, you thick
I know, but he
bastard.
could be an MC. Not in the MC, but he could be an MC.
This isn't
Release
going
an
well,
album.
guys.
What?
This isn't going well, guys.
Mark's obviously got a warm brain. Would you like a glass of orange juice to cool your
Yes,
brain?
please.
Yeah. I'll still get that.
Any other news apart from the fact that Batman could be an MC?
I mean,
There hasn't been that much news, has there really? It's been fairly quiet.
yeah, I mean, like Venice starts this week, so, and I think Telluride this week as well. So, you know, I think everyone's in a bit of a
Fright Festival's
how are
last
these
weekend,
films
wasn't
going to
it?
pan out? Are they actually going to fucking what was last week? Sorry.
Fright Fest was last week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's not. It's a different type of film festival, but it was last week, and I've heard nothing about a single movie.
No, neither.
No. I'll talk about one of them later on.
You will, won't you? Yeah. Is this an Ian watched it so we don't have to?
Yippee.
Right, okay, let's get a trailer then.
I haven't watched any.
You have? You watched the Spider-Man one? I don't know.
I don't think I did.
Well,
I
that's
was
on
waiting
you.
for you to get home to watch it with you, and then every time I've said, should we watch some trailers? No, we'll wait. We could watch some trailers now, we'll wait. And then you started at 6 and I want home till 6:15, so...
The Spider-Man trailers happened. But we'll talk about that in a minute. If you want to go watch the Spider-Man trailer, we talk about the trailers that you haven't watched.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Go on then. Ian, have you watched the final trailer for No Time to Die?
I've watched both of them. There's a US one and an international one, and they're both quite different.
Are they?
Yep.
I believe I watched the US one.
There is, yeah, the US one has got some interesting extra line readings. Like the Rami Malek character kind of says something extra about his relationship with Léa Seydoux's character, which I thought was interesting. These trailers feel like a statement of, we're not fucking budging. It's actually happening this time. That's what they feel like. You know, there's a documentary about Daniel Craig's time as James Bond, which is going to be on Apple TV Plus, I think, next week. All their fucking Twitters are like 1 month to go, 1 month to go. It really does feel like it is going to happen now. I think the success of Free Guy and Candyman, I think, have allayed the fears of films not doing very well. Suicide Squad really fucking spooked like the industry.
Well, what's kind of, just to go slightly off
Please.
off a little bit from this, is so Venom has been delayed, hasn't it?
Only to October. There was rumor that it was going to be pushed to January, and then that got debunked.
So Venom was supposed to come out this weekend, wasn't it? Last weekend, just gone.
No, I think it's a couple weeks time.
Well, because the trailers literally are still there every week. So I've got I've had like a month of Venom trailer, and there's going to be another month of Venom trailer.
I mean, I'm just thanking God that they've chilled out on the No Time to Die trailers. Because when after the first lockdown, when cinemas were back open for a bit, I swear to God, every single film had No Time to Die before it.
Yeah, I think there's a possibility that I have seen the No Time to Die trailer more times than any other trailer.
Maybe, yeah, I would, or at least I've been in the room where it happened, like just listening to a podcast or something while it played in front of me. But yeah, but I mean, it does feel like now they've gone, okay, Suicide Squad kinda tanked. Even though in the UK it has done a lot better than Birds of Prey, which I think is interesting. You know, it's internationally, that film is not doing too badly. I think it is a real Warner Brothers done fucked up with the HBO Max day and date thing. That all of the evidence is going, day and date is a wrong'un for if you actually want to make money in the box office. You know, if you want to give something a big screen release, you're not that bothered. It's more to satisfy the filmmaker. Fair enough, day and date it. But if you actually want to make some money, so like Free Guy has been declining fuck all. Couple weeks back, its second weekend in the UK, it dipped 7%.
Yeah, which is nothing.
Nothing. I think this weekend, it was like 20 something, which is still fuck all. Like that's a great hold.
Yeah, the thing is, you take 7%, at any time is decent.
Exactly. and then along with Candyman, that did only, maybe about 10% better, but still better than its expectations were in the US. And now I think it's given Universal and MGM the confidence to go, no, No Time to Die is coming out. People have been waiting for it. We're going to give it theatrical exclusivity, and they're gonna make some good money. Whether they won't make the money that they would have if it was released pre-COVID, but everybody knows that. And it's either they release it now, or if they wanted to make an extra couple $100 million, release it next year. But then in terms of like the interest payments that are due on like paying back the budget and the marketing deals that they have, they would probably lose that amount in fucking holding it.
Yeah.
So at this point, they may as well just go ahead and do it. And coming out where it is, they've got a good clear couple of weeks. You know, they've got 2 weeks in the UK until Venom. In the US, they've only got a week. But it also feels like Venom and No Time to Die could coexist. The big worry will be Dune, which, and sorry for tangenting a second, but in some territories is coming out in a couple of weeks' time. Why the fuck is that not coming out in the UK in mid-September, 2 weeks before Bond, or 3 weeks before Bond? And then, like, from October onwards, the marketplace is chocker. This month, it's like there's maybe one film of interest a week, maybe two. In October and onwards, the films are going to be fucking fighting for places. I think it's bizarre that Dune is not coming out over here until late October. Bizarre.
Yeah, it's weird. It is a weird one, isn't it? They are banking on everybody wanting to go to a warm, dry place called a cinema.
And yeah, it's the same day as Last Night in Soho. No, it's the same day as... Yeah, it is. That's it. Halloween Kills and Venom are the same day. No, Last Night in Soho is the week after. I need to look this up. There is something coming out the same day as Dune that feels like it's really...
Going to be fighting for the same
in
audience.
The same zone. And even with like your premium large format theaters, so your IMAX, your super screen, your things like that, it's going to be like an absolute fucking car crash of content, which is great for those who can who go out to the cinema 2-3 times a week. But people who don't, you get I don't know. Is it The Last Duel? No. So I'm sorry to cut myself off. Friday the 15th of October, Venom, Halloween Kills, The Last Duel. Yeah.
They're all at the same week.
Yeah. The week after, the 22nd, Dune, Dear Evan Hansen, Ron's Gone Wrong, this really good-looking animated film, French Dispatch, that was it. French Dispatch and Dune are out the same fucking day. And Jackass Forever. Right, this is a weekend. Jackass Forever, Boss Baby 2, The French Dispatch, Ron's Gone Wrong, Dear Evan Hansen, Dune.
Fucking there's at least hell. 3 of those we'll be seeing, isn't there?
I mean, Boss Baby 2, I need questions answered, so obviously I'll be seeing it. But, that is mental. And then the week after that is Last Night in Soho. October is... I mean, I think the first week of October is relatively quiet because the week before you've had Bond. So, yeah, Addams Family 2 is literally the only release of note that week. And whether that's a release of note is up to you. But then... and then the week after, it just goes mental. So, coming back to my original point, Dune, release that fucking thing in September and actually give it a shot.
Yeah, it does seem like with Dune, they're setting it up to fail a little bit.
Or they are so fucking confident in it. Because, I mean, apparently, we'll see, it plays in Venice on Friday, but apparently it is cinematic as fuck, and it's just you must see it in the cinema experience. But you're gonna those people are also going to want to watch The French Dispatch that weekend. They are. Your blockbuster audience, like may still want to catch Venom if they saw Halloween the week beforehand or the other way round. You know, Halloween Kills is playing Venice, so that must have something about it as well. It, like you say, it's like they are actually doing it on purpose.
Yeah,
It's bizarre.
The thing is, to make the amount of money that Dune needs to make, it doesn't need to get the people that are already going to go and see Dune to go and watch it. It needs to get a blockbuster audience. You know, and that's not me turning my nose up at a blockbuster audience or anything like that. You know, blockbuster audiences are what gives us things like Dune and the MCU stuff and other comic book movies that Becky won't allow because they're not MCU.
Saying the character crossover.
We've moved on, Becky. We've moved on. So moving on from that, we'll move on to
Just real quick, actually, before we go on to the next trailer,
what?
I remembered some really important news that we didn't cover, like really important news.
What?
Extended cut of Krampus is coming out.
There is an extended cut of Krampus coming out.
That is amazing. I'm well excited for Christmas now.
Yeah.
That better get a fucking release over here.
Christmas Eve's gonna feel a little bit different. Not much, very slightly, but a little
It's
bit.
not Christmas Eve we watch it. It's not September 23rd we watch it.
Oh, okay. Can we tits?
You're trying to fucking take my plans.
What rating was Krampus in the US? Was it a PG-13? Because that film's intense.
No, I'm not sure. I think it might have been an R.
Krampus US rating.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
I said the US
get that
rating.
this is very important news to a very niche section of people, but it is very important news.
I am looking forward to. I'm fascinated to find out not what extras in it, because I will wait to watch that, but just how much longer it is.
Yeah.
Where the fuck? Come on. Why is this so hard? PG-13.
Wow.
PG-13. Yeah. So let's have a full-blooded R-rated Krampus. Let's fucking go.
The naughty cut. Which stars key dialogue and scenes that we trimmed from original throughout to appease the MPAA.
And it's interesting that is the only cut on the 4K disc.
Yeah, that's the only one that's going out.
Which
apparently
seems to give
it does take it up from a PG-13 to an R.
Cool. Yeah, and I imagine Michael Dougherty is like, yeah, this is the version, this is the one to put out. And Scream Factory, they're a pretty good label with making sure they're doing that shit right. So that is exciting.
Very, very.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm just trying to find out how long it is. See if we've got a time thing on the Shout Factory thing. Ian, what's the next trailer you've seen?
Bruce Willis has done another one. Survive the Game.
Yes.
Looks like he probably gets kidnapped in the first 10 minutes. You cut back to him every 15 minutes or so.
And he's sat down.
And and then he shoots a gun at the end.
Yeah. I did watch this. It's bare bones for fucking Willis. For even somebody like Bruce Willis, that.
Yep. I doubt I will watch it. Sorry.
I wonder how many of these movies actually Bruce Willis has actually watched. I bet it's very few.
He watches none of them. I think the last film he was in that he watched was Motherless Brooklyn. Or maybe Glass. Maybe Glass.
I think it was Motherless Brooklyn. I don't think he watched Glass.
Do you reckon Glass is maybe what put him off watching any of his films? Because it's shit.
He was making shit way before
that. Yeah. What else have we got?
I don't think I've got any, actually. There hasn't been another Ghostbusters Afterlife trailer to piss me off, has there?
It hasn't, no.
All right.
The Power of the Dog, the new Jane Champion movie. starring Benedict Cumberbatch, Kristen Dunst, Jesse Plemons.
Hard out if it's got
Yeah, the trailer gives away little,
right.
but it looks very atmospheric and very western-y.
Looking forward to Jane Campion making another film.
Yeah, that's where I am with it. Netflix movie, so I think it's out in November.
Yeah, plays LFF, which incidentally I got accreditation for again. So there'll be LFF chat on here. Don't know. I get the sense that the online screenings will be back to normal, and you'll probably need to go to actual physical press screenings most of the time. But I probably am going to chance my arm and maybe actually ask some of the PRs whether there are online screeners available for some of these things.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
We're not doing it this year for the simple fact that we just don't have goddamn time, do we?
A lot going on, haven't we?
Got a lot going on.
You guys are busy, but I'm planning on being in London for a couple of days. So yeah, I should be able to get to a few things. So we shall see.
What do you want to say, Max?
I was going to say, have either of you guys watched the trailer for that really awful Lifetime-looking movie about Princess Diana?
Spencer.
Yeah.
Oh,
I haven't
yeah.
watched it, but I need to know what it's like, but I will not watch it.
It's fucking hilarious that a mainstream audience are going to be tricked into watching a film directed by Pablo Larraín.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Pablo Larraín, he directed Jackie, the Natalie Portman film from a few years back. It's just like, he's not exactly a commercial director. He's very much almost like a film Twitter director, and that's not.
He's an art house director. There's a lot of Kristen Stewart just spinning around in outfits in big empty rooms.
All right.
Yeah.
God, have you seen the poster for it? The melodrama comes off it in waves.
The thing is, it's your Ghostbusters Afterlife thing, Ian.
Yeah.
Where anything it just irks you about it. And that's not a criticism. You are justifying your irkedness about it. I am honestly so fucking bored of the European and American fetishism of the royal family of the past 10, 15 years that's happened, where everybody that doesn't live in England thinks that we're all obsessed with the royal family, when the actual truth of it is the vast majority of us are either completely ambivalent towards it or actively fucking dislike it. She's going to get a nomination. And by the way, I think Kristen Stewart is a very, very, very good actress.
Which is what annoys me, because I like Kristen Stewart and I'd like to watch a Kristen Stewart movie. I'm absolutely fucking not watching a movie about Princess Diana.
No.
Fuck that. No.
Well, I watched the last one.
If I watch that, right, if I even watch the trailer for that, if I go on MSN at work, which is the news sort of opening page that we have on our internet, if I happen to click on anything royal family related, even on accident, even if I hover over it for a second, all I get is royal family stories. So algorithmically, I will not watch this trailer because that's all I'll be bombarded with, and I could not give a shit.
I did find it amusing that a load of news sites reported about, oh my god, it sounds so like her. She says one word in it?
Yeah, it's like a couple of words or something. Yeah. I'll report back on this one then, shall I?
I will probably watch it, but watch it in one of those senses of going, knowing that I probably aren't going to be able to separate what might be a very pretty looking film with the fact that I hope everybody in it has a misery bestowed upon them.
Or the actual real people.
Yes.
Yeah.
What else was there?
I mean, we know at least one it didn't work out well for.
It doesn't work out well for one of them.
No.
Right, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
What did you reckon, Becky, of the Spider-Man trailer?
Yeah, do you know what? I'm in for that. If it's the last Marvel movie that I watch, because the rest of them do not interest me at all, I think it's a good way to go out.
Well, there's actually two before that, so.
Yeah, but what are they?
Shang-Chi and Eternals.
Yeah, not bothered about either of them.
You have to watch them because it's going to make sense.
He fucking will.
I don't know. I'm just spitballing.
I know, it looks good. It's what Doctor Strange being in there wearing a hoodie, quite amusing. The way that Peter Parker essentially seems to create the multiverse, quite amusing, just by not being able to shut his stupid mouth. Yeah, it looks alright. Doc Ock turning up in it like that.
Yeah, it's interesting. The weird thing is, there's been a lot of like chatter about this trailer for a while because there was a rumor that they just weren't going to do one.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that was always bollocks.
It was always bollocks, and it was founded on absolutely nothing. But even Feige started getting a little bit involved in that.
Right.
And it was, of course, it was never going to happen. But then it was literally like, oh, here it is, and it does seem like they're going, you know, right, we've got Shang-Chi coming out, and we've got Eternals coming out, but don't fucking worry, we've got a person you will recognise.
Yeah.
And we've got fucking loads of them.
No, I'm quite keen to see what they do with it.
What do you think, Ian?
I think it looked all right. I'm just I mean I enjoy the films when I'm watching them. You know, I'm about halfway through a rewatch of Iron Man 3, so you know I do enjoy them, but the discourse around them I'm finding increasingly boring.
Bland, yeah. Would you say though, Ian, that it looks like you just watched a trailer for a Spider-Man movie?
I'm not entirely sure.
That's it. It's just you glean nothing from it other than Doctor Strange is going to be in this for a bit, isn't he?
Doctor Strange is going to be in it.
Yeah.
Doc Ock's going to be in it.
Yeah.
I'm worried that it's going to be weighed down by everything but Spider-Man.
Yeah, like it's going to forget to actually have Spider-Man in it.
Yeah, like his characters basically, like, what is the arc of his character going to be? And I mean, you know, because it's like he starts off a place where everybody knows he's Spider-Man. Like, so is it that? Because it's not an arc. It's he is fighting against the fact that everybody knows who he is and everyone thinks he's a wrong'un. So by the end of it, either still no one's going to remember or no one's going to think he's a wrong'un. And it's like all the stuff that goes on in between that. I don't know. I'm weirdly nonplussed about it. Like, I'll enjoy it. I'll enjoy it when it's on. And I like the first two films, but they do. I don't know whether it's because of this, like the Sony thing, and they're ever so slightly to the left of the MCU, but I just don't quite click with them in the way that I do with some of the other films. I can't really put my finger on it because it's not Tom Holland. Tom Holland's good, but I think maybe it's just the fact that there have been a lot of Spider-Man films by this point. You know, like this would be, including Spider-Verse, this will be the 9th Spider-Man film, and then Spider-Verse is just this completely different, fresh, dare I say, visionary take on Spider-Man that the MCU can't possibly do. I think that might be it. I'm more interested in the continuing adventures of Miles Morales than I am in the continuing adventures of Peter Parker. I think that might be it, actually.
I can absolutely. What is it? Yeah, get behind that. We watched Spider-Man, whatever the last one was.
Far from Home?
Yes.
We rewatched that recently, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, yeah.
And
Jake Gyllenhaal's fucking great.
Jake Gyllenhaal's very good in it, but it's ploddy as fuck.
Yeah.
They're gone for this European road movie kind of vibe with it. But it plods along from bit to bit.
It's obviously skipped the masterclass, hasn't it? It's not watched the ultimate European road movie.
Eurotrip. No, it's not. No. If that had started with fucking Matt Damon coming out and making another cameo in a Marvel movie
Yeah.
and just blasting out fucking Scotty didn't know at the start of it.
Peter doesn't know.
Peter doesn't know. Yeah.
No,
MJ
what's her
doesn't
name?
know.
MJ doesn't
Yeah,
know.
there you go. Then it'd be 5-star banger. There you go.
Absolutely. But it was
And-
him.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, I think it's just this one feels very much like a trailer for what the MCU has to come.
Yeah, it is. It's a little bit like, do you remember when they did Captain America Civil War? And it was a bit like, look, it's a new Captain America movie, but it wasn't really. It was Avengers 2.5.
Yes.
This feels a little bit like it's the new Spider-Man movies, but it's not. It's MCU reboot the movie.
Yeah, but you see, that's what Far From Home kind of felt like as well, because that came out after.
But I think that felt almost like a coda to the first three phases.
Yeah,
whatever
it did,
it was.
but it felt like they were using it as a bridging movie.
Yeah, but it didn't
But
work.
then this also feels like they're using it as a bridging movie. Like, just let it be its own thing.
Yeah. Just at this point, which is kind of the opposite of what I was saying a couple months back, but it's like I am more interested in Shang-Chi, especially considering the word and not just the initial word, which is always good on MCU films, but it feels like that's following through. That like it's not perfect, but it's very entertaining. I'll take that. And then Eternals, is such an unknown quantity that I'm at least interested in that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it looks great. I think the second trailer was better than the first trailer. But I watched this trailer for No Way Home, and it's just all it's going to be is who's going to appear. Like what?
Yeah.
Like all like people were talking about was that fucking Matt Murdock from Daredevil's elbow, and I look at that. I look at people talking about that, and I just think, what are you doing with yourself? Like it's like I was saying in the last episode, how I was watching First Cow and just thinking like, and Don't Breathe 2, and just thinking like, why am I here? Why am I watching this?
I mean,
I want those people.
5-star banger.
No, fair enough. But I want those people talking about was that Matt Murdock's elbow to just go, please look at yourself, please. Like, just no. I don't. Who cares? Who cares? A lot of people care. Why?
The thing is, you are right that there is going to be an awful lot of. The thing is, if you don't see it within the first 3 days, or you avoid all social media for a week, you're going to know all of the bits.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It just feels a little bit like I don't think this was planned. I think, or in this way, but then Spider-Verse has pushed them to have to make a decision.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's interesting because the creative, the deal that Sony did with Disney for the Spider-Man was basically Marvel Studios make all the creative decisions. So whatever they've done here, leading up to Multiverse of Madness, they were planning on doing it. I think it was a massive bit of Spider-Verse being made because they kind of knew what was coming in the MCU, or an amazing coincidence rather than the MCU going, oh, that's interesting, let's do that. These things are they're too long in the making for that to be the case, I think. But this film, I've talked about the memification of films previously, and this is kind of like a similar aspect of it, where they are making the film to get as big an opening weekend as possible by just fueling is that Matt Murdock's elbow? Well, the way to find out first is to go to the midnight screening, let us have a massive opening weekend. It all feels, it doesn't feel like there's It's there for creativity.
No, it's not the creative process. It's the accountancy process.
It's how can we get the clicks? How can we get the views? And apparently, No Way Home, the trailer numbers fucking were like massive and record breaking and whatnot. So it's worked. And as soon as I saw the trailer was out, I watched it. So I'm feeding into that as well. But what I'm not feeding into is fucking YouTube videos about, is that Matt Murdock's elbow?
The good thing is I will happily avoid those things.
Good thing for me that I have no clue who Matt Murdock is. So
Daredevil. So basically, there is a shot in that trailer where somebody is saying to Peter, but these are your drones. And there is speculation that is Charlie Cox, who played Daredevil in the Netflix Marvel series. Because there's been rumours for ages that he was going to be in this, which is cool. I think, the Marvel Netflix shows, Marvel basically seem to pretend they don't exist, which is a shame. There were highs, there were lows. Charlie Cox was a really, really good Daredevil. I watched the first 2 seasons of Daredevil. I fell off of it, but not because of him. So for him to have a small kind of Easter egg role in this, absolutely fine. That was the thing that fucked me off about Ghostbusters Afterlife that we haven't discussed.
Go on.
The Easter egg hunt.
Yes.
I fucking knew there was something. Jason Reitman, fuck you. Saying to, for fans, this will be the ultimate Easter egg hunt. The music at the start. Oh, I wonder what that could be then. I just... Here you go, shit munchers. This is what you want, isn't it? Easter eggs. You want that dopamine hit of, I know what that thing is. That's from the other one. No. Stop treating the people who are looking forward to that film like people who just want to fucking point at the fucking screen like the DiCaprio meme. It's no. You made this film for your father and your daughter, did you? No, you fucking didn't. You made it because you can't get a fucking hit.
Yeah, literally cannot get a hit.
Oh, yeah.
What was his last one? The Front Runner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Died on its ass.
Starring Hugh Jackman, released in the run-up to an election that grossed, what, $8?
Yeah, based on a real-life event, buzz about Hugh Jackman as it is time to get an Oscar nomination and whatnot. No, went down the toilet. Labour Day, fucking men, women and children. Fuck off, Jason Reitman.
Have either of you seen Labour Day?
There's pies.
It's a slog.
Yeah.
It's a really, really big slog. And at one point he was tipped to be going places. I'm just,
That sounds like a slog from the plot synopsis.
It's not very good.
No. So are we saying, what was his last good film then? Juno?
Up in the Air was good.
Up in the Air was all right, yeah.
Up in the Air was good. Young Adult, I didn't get on with it.
Young Adult.
Yeah, Young Adult, I personally didn't get on with it, but a lot of people really connected to that movie.
Yeah.
It didn't quite land for me.
I have not seen it.
You might really like it. What I'm saying is Young Adult is not a bad movie in any way. It's actually quite a good movie. It just didn't appeal to me in any way.
It's just the fact that he's fucking weaponizing this anti-Paul Feig's film
without
stuff.
actually having the balls to come out and do that.
Yeah. Just
the balls to come out and go, look, the chicks out back.
I made this for the fans, unlike Paul Feig, who was, that's all it fucking. And yes, I am in the tank for the Paul Feig film. I thought it was good, and that film was made from a place of love.
Yeah,
Ghostbusters Afterlife
is good.
It's great. I rewatched it recently. It's a really good time.
Yeah, it's an awful lot of fun. Well, we'll wait and see.
I promise I will give that film a fair shake. But if it is shit, oh my fucking god, I'm going to be going to town on it.
I am looking forward to it. If we were to line up for what films that it is, that, and I think they're out quite close together, your viewing experience of that, you're going to be going in going, I want you to be good so I don't have to rant about you, is the same feeling as I will be going into French Dispatch with.
Straight up.
Bond. Can I have Bond?
You can have Bond if you want.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's do a fucking film. What film should we do?
No.
Let's do The Night House, because it has been the one that we watched the longest ago. And if any more time goes by, might forget it existed. So, The Night House is directed by David Bruckner. It stars Rebecca Hall, Sarah Golding, Stacey Martin, Bondi Curtis Hall, and I am going to get the synopsis from the IMDb's up, so I can read that.
I'm going to go for a wee real quick, sorry.
No problem. So this is the very fucking detailed synopsis on IMDb. A widow begins to uncover her recently deceased husband's disturbing secrets. I'm going to elaborate on that a little bit.
Yeah.
So Rebecca Hall, character Beth, her husband has very recently committed suicide at their house, which is on a lake. He is literally ridden out into the middle of the lake and has shot himself. She doesn't know why, and then when she's starting to go through the personal belongings, etc., and things like that, she starts noticing that there's photos of women who look a little bit like her, but not quite like her. And then, remember, all spoilers all the time, guys, starts finding he is an architect and he built their house, starts finding plans for a essentially reverse of that house. So yes, The Night House. Ian.
Yeah.
Do you remember The Night House?
Yeah, no, yeah, I remember The Night House. 10 days ago.
Ian.
Yeah.
Did The Night House, did you find it quite atmospherically unsettling? And should Rebecca Hall be a much, much bigger fucking star than she is?
Yeah, I think it's both, to be fair. It was a good classy horror time, was The Night House. Had enough scares to I think to satisfy people, even though my audience seemed a bit grumbly when it finished.
Ooh, that's the opposite of ours.
Yeah,
our audience were very. It was quite a busy screening as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's quite a busy screening. There was a lot of. It seemed quite a positive response to that.
Yeah, it was a couple of that was rubbish kind of comments. I overheard, which I didn't agree with. Yeah, it takes its time. It's a horror story which is about something, and I think kind of pulls that off. And it's very, but it's not about like a societal issue or anything like that. It's a very, very personal story, which I don't know. I thought was interesting. And there was a nice. It had a nice line in "Is this all in her head or not?" which I thought it skirted both sides quite well. There is a film I will talk about later which seeks to do a similar thing and completely drops the ball, which I saw the same weekend, actually. This does that, but very well. I think David Bruckner, very solid horror director, and Rebecca Hall. If this was a film that was being released by A24, you would have people on film Twitter giving Oscar buzz to her, but it wasn't, so they don't.
Yeah. Becky, The Night House. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean It's a while ago. I really, really enjoyed it. I really did. I don't remember the sort of nuances of it particularly well. I do remember liking, like what Ian said. There's two ways you can kind of look at it. Is it a story about depression and grief and essentially like that survivor guilt when somebody passes away, or is it actually there's a fucking demon that takes you when you die and she escaped from it, so it wants her back? I prefer to take it at face value.
You prefer it to be the demon that wants her back.
Yeah, the other one hurts my brain too much.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because it's down to how you interpret that note that he leaves about, like, there is nothing. And it's like, well, does that mean there is nothing? Or is
demon is nothing?
Yeah, or are they essentially calling, like, the demon / depression is nothing?
Yeah, there is nothing.
And nothing is after you.
Yeah.
Nothing is after you. Like the nothing off of like Neverending Story.
The thing is, it's the cleverness of it is it's in its simplicity of a movie like this. Like you were saying there, it's quite interesting what you said on is a lot of. I'm not jumping in across you.
No, it's fine.
A lot of horror recently and a lot of horror generally. And there's one we'll talk about later on. Where they're based around societal issues and things like that, and that's been a case for throughout horror in cinema, that they're often based around these things. But this doesn't. Like you say, it's quite a personal story. It drags it back in. It felt closer in atmosphere to something like Black Bear that we watched.
Yes, yeah, I would agree 100%.
Recently, in that it's very secluded into what it is, and it's throwing out the idea of a psychological horror rather than a more outward horror.
That's it. It could have been a big balls out horror, or it could have been a very introspective story about grief, but it straddles that very, very well. Yeah,
without ever, like you say, leaving a big gaping hole that makes you go, well, no, because it has to be that. It probably is if you go through the fine tooth comb. There usually is. Because
I do want to watch it again,
nothing is perfect, but like Ian said again, Rebecca Hall is fantastic in it.
Why is she not?
The only thing I can think of is I just don't think she wants to be.
No, I think mine was right.
What?
The two Rebeccas that came out at about the same time, and Rebecca Ferguson won the battle of the Rebeccas.
There's a possibility that was.
Yeah,
that
I think it was actually a physical battle. I mean, and Rebecca Ferguson would win that. Rebecca Hall seems a bit flirty.
Rebecca Ferguson would be sneaky. Yeah.
She'd fucking get a tip punch in there.
Not only that, she'd probably hire some goons as well. And then when Rebecca Hall was like, hang on a minute, she'd be like, I didn't see anything in the contract that said I couldn't hire goons to do it.
Which is odd, given the two movies that we're reviewing.
Yes. But yeah, it's I've lost my train of thought a little bit there. Thanks. Yeah.
Scones pulled out of the station.
A long time ago. Yeah, Rebecca Hall is very, very good in it. But one of the it's not just that she's good in the scream bits, because there isn't scream bits. One of the best scenes I thought in the entire movie was when because she plays a teacher, was when the kid's mum comes in.
Yeah.
Fucking incredible scene.
To argue the grade being changed. And she quite sort of nicely kind of goes, oh, okay, I'll change it to a B. And then it starts arguing. She's like, oh, do you know what? And then just quite nastily, but justifiably nastily, just goes to town on that woman.
Yeah.
it's quite glorious
in
that.
It's the... like, well, I didn't come here for that. And it's like, well, what did you come here for?
And you know what? That answer is a great almost customer service answer of the when somebody comes in of when you've got that pissed off with them because you've gone through all of the bits that you would normally do and they still go away and you just go, right, what do you want me to do? Yeah. So I can tell you to fuck off.
Yeah. What is
Yeah.
your idea of a satisfactory resolution? So I can say no and you can leave me alone.
Yeah.
I used to do that when I was on the phones in work. I used to do that all the time if somebody had a complaint, and I'd be like, right, is it monetary? Is it a monetary amount you want? Yeah. Okay. How much are you thinking? And they'd go, you tell me. It's like, just tell me. Just tell me.
Yeah, because there you want to go get quid.
Yeah, because that's the thing, and it's like, I'll go £25. £25 for all of this. It's like, right, so what then? Like, you tell me an amount, I'll tell you yes, or okay, I'll put that through. You can wait about 3 to 4 weeks for us to formally write to you. See ya.
I refuse to give people a figure if they're after like reimbursement for something, unless it's something specific like, oh, they didn't use this pipe. All right, I'll refund you it. But like if it's for like a customer service reason, I just will not put a figure on it.
No, it's best than not.
In my industry, it's like it could end up basically if a complaint is raised and they go to the ombudsman, we're automatically charged £500 by the ombudsman, whether they find fault or not. So it's almost like we may as like if we agree that we are at fault and we can chuck them some money, which means that they waive the right to go to the ombudsman, then we would do that. And if that is more money, God, this is a tangent. If that's more money than you'd really think is appropriate, there's an argument to say yes, but the risk is we lose £500 a few months down the line, so do it. And there comes a limit. There comes a limit. Don't get me wrong, but
495, 495.
Maybe not that. Like we'll take we would take our chances, but like it's yeah. So but going back to the performance, that's exactly it, and that kind of passive aggressive thing that she has with people, like the
girl
with Stacey Martin in the bookshop. Yeah, exactly. Her first meeting with her is just amazing.
Yeah, she plays it perfectly without actually ever sort of being aggressive towards her. She just stands and stares at her. And actually, not only that, it's a really well composited shot. Because actually later on, when they stood next to each other, they're not that different in height. Whereas that shot has her looking like she's about a foot taller than her.
Yeah.
And also as well, the outfits they've chosen for them. It's just a really clever bit of directing. You are looking at it and going, right, this woman is intimidating this girl.
And I'll be honest, at that moment, that kind of a woman, like that kind of personality or passive aggressiveness, not usually a thing for me, but it was really working.
Yeah.
I really, really wanted her to be passive aggressive to me.
I get the feeling though that that's just Rebecca Hall. Like she'll be nice up to a point, and then if you piss her off, that's it. You're fucking dead to her, and she will destroy you.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah. Destroy me, Rebecca.
That's the thing, and it's not. Oh God, that's something he says to you a lot.
You don't have to ask him.
I really want to move on now. Sorry.
But in the Night House, I genuinely think it's a fucking great movie, and I am baffled as to why more has not been made of it. And Ian raised a very, very good point earlier. If this had an A24 before it, this film would be...
People would be
everywhere.
Fucking jerking off over it, not
and
like all over the place.
Yeah, the thing is, it's probably going to be better than a lot of the A24 movies that come out.
It's definitely better than fucking Midsommar. That's a piece of shit.
Yeah. But then again, Zola was very good.
It was very good.
Zola was really good. So, yeah. Our audience poll. So I'm definitely not shit on the Night House. I think it's very, very good.
Yeah, definitely not shit. Can't wait to watch it again, actually, and just to kind of see bits that maybe I missed last
Yeah,
time.
I think had I not been away for
We
the
might
week
see
last
that.
week, we might have actually got to see that again last week, might we?
You might have.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm guessing we're all definitely not shit. This is interesting. Our audience poll, definitely not shit 100%.
Oh,
Sweet.
yeah.
Yeah, well deserved. If you've not seen The Night House and it's coming near you, or when it becomes available to watch at home, it's a definite, I think, solid recommend for any. Not even if you're just like horror fans or anything like that. There's not. It's a great psychological
Rebecca
breakdown film.
Hall does something that's actually very difficult to do, clearly, because it's done so badly in so many films. She plays a good drunk.
Yes, she
Yeah,
does.
very good drunk.
Yeah, it's not too over the top.
No.
It actually looks like somebody who's drunk. Where are we gonna go next? Who knows? Well, Mark knows.
I don't think
Let's
he
go.
does.
Let's go for our. We think Mark knows. Let's go for our Patreon picked retro movie.
Oh wow, really? Okay.
Yeah, let's do that. And what I'll say, guys, is, but by the end of this review, we've got to have our other Patreon picked movies sorted. What we're going to put up this week.
Shit. Okay.
Yep.
I've
just realised I just partially set myself up there because I haven't thought of one yet. Becky, stop looking at the posters in the room.
Dark Knight.
No.
Oh,
The
fuck
bird
off, really?
Literally, she was looking round at the posters in the room.
Try to think of films.
The Bird with the Crystal Plumage, directed by Dario Argento, and stars Tony Asante, Susie Kendall, Enrico Maria Salarino, and very other people.
Every
Other people.
Love it.
What?
Oh shit. You're dumb.
Thank you. What does the IMDb say about it?
Fuck's sake.
An American expatriate in Rome witnesses an attempted murder that is connected to an ongoing killing spree in the city and conducts his own investigation about himself and his girlfriend being targeted by the killer.
Bloody right, he conducts his own investigation. Like, that, I forgot, just to say, that whole thing where the police inspector is like, can I see your passport? Yeah, sure, here you go. Can I have my passport back? Nope.
Nope. It is brilliant. It's almost like he's about to go, what passport?
Yeah. What?
The fact that he
Like-
just very calmly looks at it, closes it, and puts it in his drawer.
It's
Say I'm going to keep this or anything, just puts it in his drawer. What are you doing?
just the fact that, like, the reason why he starts investigating it is it's the only way he's going to be allowed to leave the fucking country, is if he basically solves it himself. Is amazing.
They're very here for the idea of him investigating himself. Like, I don't think the police share that much information with just randoms, generally. I mean, maybe in LA.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible, isn't it? Like, where it's like they're analysing the voice patterns. It's like, why are you inviting him to look at this fucking technology here? Like, it's...
And when he's like, oh, she's left the hospital, she's gone home. Okay. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Okay. Which floor?
Which floor?
Okay.
It is literally like they've gone,
Oh,
can't be asked to solve this, but this prick might.
Yeah. Especially if we hold his passport hostage.
Yeah, that's what I say. Like, worst last week, didn't it? All those robberies we had. We held Jurgen from Germany's passport.
Can I raise one issue that, like, just getting serious for a second, that I really had with this movie?
Go on.
Why are all the women in it so fucking pathetic?
It's a Dario Argento movie.
Right, but what's her face in that other film isn't?
Wow, descriptive.
You know, that one, the
Deep Red?
Connolly?
no,
Jennifer?
because Jennifer Connelly always looks
Suspiria?
Maybe Deep Red. Hang on,
Are you meaning Deep Red?
Nickelodeon.
Daria Nicolodi. Yeah, Deep Red.
Yeah,
Deep
Deep
Red.
Red. I was trying to think of her name.
A fair comment, yes.
Yeah, she's fucking great in it. She's ballsy as fuck. These women are all like, Oh no, this window won't open. I better roll around on the floor for 10 minutes sighing. All right, okay, that's really gonna help.
It's because he was ballsing her to fuck.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Ian,
And that fucking bird doesn't look like it's got crystal plumage at all. It's like grey and black. It's an ugly fucking bird. It does not like, oh yeah, they call it this and they say it looks like crystals. It fucking doesn't. They're dumb.
Ian,
Yeah.
you had seen this before, hadn't you?
Oh yeah, I had.
I knew you had, because I think we spoke about it before. But did you watch the 4K?
Yes.
Yeah, what was that like?
Really nice. Yeah, really nice. I've actually got it on 4K on iTunes, which I forgot, and I got the disc.
We watched it on Arrow Player, didn't we?
We did. That was an ordeal.
That was just not Arrow Player's fine. Get a fucking TV app, Arrow. But yeah, try to fucking AirPlay it. AirPlay hates me, doesn't it?
Oh, AirPlay's fun.
TV app.
Did you watch it in English or Italian?
Subs.
Italian with subs.
Sweet. Okay. Yeah, it's the 4K transfer is really it's really nice actually. Some good extras on the disc as well actually. Yeah, and it I don't know, it had the like you were watching a nice print of it kind of thing, which I suppose in a way you kind of want to be watching it a little bit scuzzier. So yeah, maybe a 480p stream on AirPlay onto your TV might have been a more effective presentation of it, quite frankly. But no, I don't think it would have been actually. But yeah, no, it's I think it's a really interesting debut film. It just sets up so much of what Argento is interested in, like the even like the whole kind of like the kind of seeing something but not really understanding the whole picture thing is very, very, very Argento. And I forgot how quickly it gets into it as well. It's like within the first 10 minutes you've got that first set piece.
Yeah.
And then it's just off to the races, and there's barely any downtime. Like the way Susie Kendall's introduced, where it's just like he comes home and it's just like, oh shit, okay, what, he's got a live-in girlfriend, does he? And oh, okay, fine, fair enough then. It's economical with its storytelling, but also has really bizarre one-off scenes. And it gives it like just a lot of Argento flavor, and the Morricone score absolutely bangs. I really like this, and Bring Out the Perverts is a hell of a moment.
He belongs with the transvestites, not the perverts. God damn it, Bill.
And then the transvestite's just like, yeah, why have you put me in here with this disgusting group of, them walking off? It's great. But I mean, to be honest, I think I'd probably add a half star for the scene with the artist that eats cats.
Yeah.
That was
because I've seen it before, but I forgot about that. And then when the cat came out, I was like, oh wait a minute, there's something with this cat. Oh god, yeah, I remember.
As soon as the cat escaped and you saw that he had a cage full of cats, I was like, oh, he's just fed him cat.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah.
And the fact that he immediately doesn't care about any information that this batshit mad man could give him once he realises he's eating cat. No, I don't want to hear it anymore. I'm fucking going. Do you want this painting? No.
But then the great bit of where the guy just keeps on coming down with the price of the painting.
Yeah.
And then when he doesn't buy it, just throws it out the window at him.
It's the fact that the film is kind of starting to get into the it kind of getting into the end of it. We're starting to kind of put some pieces together, and then you've just got this 5-minute scene where it's like, not only is he gonna go talk to him, but he's got to get a ladder to go up to talk to him, because he doesn't he only wants to talk to people that he wants to talk to. Just this really just random fucking bit that it's almost like Argento just put it in there as a dare.
I could relate to that. If I could block up all the entrances to our house and just have a ladder to go in on the second floor, I would do.
No, absolutely. But it's this really just odd bit, just where you think the film is gonna start wrapping up, And it's like, no, we're just going to have this one really fucking odd scene before we actually start revealing some stuff now. And then it doesn't really have anything to do with anything.
That's where you find out the backstory of the painting, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the backstory of the painting, but then, like, the key thing is the guy's mate remembering, oh shit, that thing in the background is that bird in that zoo.
But Ian, the massively rushed, random fucking, and she was mad. And it doesn't work without the painting backstory.
That was great.
Yeah, you.
Like, shit, she was mad.
Yeah.
Go with that.
No, I mean, that ending.
No, it really annoyed me, because the thing is, I really enjoyed the film. And the thing is, does the story hang together properly and fully? Probably not. Is the blood giallo blood? Yes, absolutely fucking 100%. Approval from me. I love giallo movies, and you go into them with certain expectations, like the story not hanging together quite well, like the dialogue being a little bit hinky, like women being slightly pathetic. But the ending of it was just like, it was so fucking lazy, and they've shoehorned that scene with the artist in just so that, oh yeah, some girl was killed 10 years ago and she's back because she was, and it's like, oh, okay.
I mean, you've got the ending, which is very much like the ending of Psycho, where it's like, and now a doctor to explain things. Which I liked that. And then the whole just like cutting to the fucking, like the airplane taxiing, and then cutting to her on the plane, and cutting back to the airplane taxiing, and then cutting back to him. And then you've just got that like random voiceover bit at the end, and then credits.
Yeah.
I like the way that Argento is just like, fuck it, I'm done, fuck off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I think that scene with the artist was filmed like later, and they got to a certain point, and it was getting a bit complicated. And he's like, no, fuck it, just make it Monica. Well, why would she do that? She's mad. Why is she mad? There has to be some kind of reasoning. You know that painting? Make that her. And so they went back and refilmed that scene. I think they just got bored and made a lazy ending, and that upsets me.
But you've got some great set pieces.
Yes.
The gallery set piece at the start.
It's brilliant. Yeah.
It's fantastic, and it's one of those. It's an attention grabber. It makes you sit up and go, "Oh, I fucking care."
Yeah. And the thing is as well, because he's like constantly revisiting that memory, and it's showing you it, and he's trying to think what he's not seen, and you're looking at it intently, trying to see if you can see what he hasn't seen, and it's not going to show you.
Yeah.
It's not going to make it visible to the audience until it wants to, when he remembers. And I just think it's really clever the way that it goes over and over it.
I might be off by any, but Ian might be able to tell us based on what is it. I seem to remember reading something or seeing something or on one of the documentaries I watched about Argento or something like that that he filmed two versions of that scene of Monica's bits within that scene, but to be as identical as possible. Not like two completely different versions, but two versions of that scene. And when he's remembering it, different times it's one or two of the versions of it. So it's the same scene. Not like nothing changed, nothing been moved or anything like that, but just so that it's ever so slightly different, like that, like a hand might be slightly pointing the wrong way or bits like that. Just so it just flips you about a little bit. With that, but yeah, the score's fucking brilliant as well.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Fergus Plumage. It feels a little bit more floaty and a little bit less nasty than Argento started to get, as we went along. By 80s Argento, we've got things like Tenebrae and Opera.
Yeah.
They're overtly nasty movies.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, it's not quite got the snarling teeth that those movies have.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think it's a little bit more playful with everything, and I quite like that about it. I'm definitely not shit.
Yeah, definitely not shit. I just wish the end felt a bit better thought out.
Definitely not shit for sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't think you're wrong in saying that, Bex. It didn't bother me as much as it obviously bothered you, is all.
It doesn't bother me. I kind of like that. I kind of quite like the she's mum.
It was quite amusing at the time, but the more I think about it from a filmmaking point of view, like you can't do that. You can't make this whole movie and then just go, fuck it, I'm bored.
But I don't think Argento is that bothered about
The wrap up.
that. I think it's all about. He's not bothered about the destination. He's bothered about the journey and how many sights you get to see on that journey.
Oh, how poetic.
It's fucking pretty good, that one.
Yeah, it was good. I like
It's good,
that.
that one.
Where'd you read that?
What?
Where'd you read that?
In my mind, brain.
Did you make it up in your own head?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the smart one got out for a second. It's all right. They put him back in there.
You don't get out often, do they?
No, yeah, they've put him in a big tire rolling down a hill.
Wow.
Yeah, fucking nerd.
Yeah.
Our audience poll, definitely not shit. 93%. And shit 7%.
Oh. The thing is, though, I think if you don't get on with genre movies,
don't watch it.
you're not gonna watch. No, but you're not gonna like any of them
No.
because they are all very of a tone, aren't they?
Yes. Right. Has anyone got a film yet for their Patreon picks for next time round?
I will be picking Cameron Crowe's Vanilla Sky.
Ooh, interesting. Becky, have you
Grease 2 with Michelle Pfeiffer.
Oh, hell yeah.
got Grease 2, Michelle Pfeiffer?
Because why the fuck not? It's the superior Grease movie.
Yeah, man, cool rider. Theory, mate.
Fucking Country Mile.
That's fine. Yes, let's go. Yeah, I did all that and I didn't actually pick one myself.
You're a dum-dum.
I am
Let
not
the smart one back out.
Right, man.
CS3P Combat. Player 1, choose your character.
Tired of film and television podcasts where the hosts exist in a blissful state of agreement?
Instructor. Player 2, choose your character.
Well, you're in luck.
Punter. Round 1, fight!
Allow me to introduce you to the Chinstroker vs. Punter podcast, featuring two film and television fans from Birmingham, England, who enjoy their media in very different ways.
But anyway, that brings us to the end of the plot of Blue Velvet.
The plot.
I mean, the main characters are two of the dullest main characters I have ever encountered in any film.
So join us as we catch up on what we've been watching from our own very different perspectives.
Double KO. Round 2, fight!
You can find us at csvsp.libsyn.com, also on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, all the places that podcasts can be found.
Just really
It's
isn't.
not visually striking.
No.
Just getting confirmation.
It's just in English. That's the third time, though. I mean, is this on?
Interrupt this Pod Syndicate podcast to bring you a special Pod Syndicate bulletin.
This podcast you're listening to, pretty good, isn't it? Only problem is, it's about halfway through. Pretty soon, it'll be over, and then what are you going to do? Well, if you're a fan of this show, why not head over to wearepodsyndicate.com and subscribe to our brand new feed, Pod Syndicate, The Bonus Shows. Every week, your hosts from Beyond the Neon, Chinstroker vs. Punter, Entertainment Landfill, Film Bastards, His Film, Her Movie, and What's on Tap will be dropping bonus shows right onto that feed. These shows might be collaborations and crossovers, or they might be archive episodes, interviews, one-offs, and other treats from across the Pod Syndicate network. So, prepare yourself for the inevitable disappointment of this Pod Syndicate show ending by heading to wearepodsyndicate.com and clicking on The Bonus Shows.
We now return you to your regularly scheduled Pod Syndicate podcast.
Ian, what have you been watching while I try and work out a movie?
Nice. Strap in. So I'm going to try and do this in some sort of order. Are we reviewing Pig at any point?
Yes, next week.
Okay, fine. So I watched Beckett. Which,
right, yeah, what's that like?
Yeah, so this is the Netflix film with John David Washington, Vicky Creeps, Alicia Vikander, Boyd Holbrook. So John David Washington and Alicia Vikander. Just to say, this, I'm going to detail some plot stuff. There is a major thing that I will say that literally happens in maybe the first 15 minutes. John David Washington and Alicia Vikander play a couple who, I swear at one point, they're referred to as boyfriend and girlfriend. At another point, they're referred to as husband and wife. It's weird. But yeah, they play a couple who are traveling in Greece. They are going to they're going to their kind of like hotel or accommodation very late at night. One night, John David Washington's character falls asleep at the wheel, drives off a cliff, crashes the car into a house. He comes round, sees a couple of people in the house, passes out. He wakes up, Alicia Vikander's dead. And he goes back to the house. Oh no, what is it? He says there are a couple of people in the house. The copper says, well, no one lives there. Oh, it must be migrants. We're having problems with them, blah, blah, blah. John David Washington goes to the house for some reason. Is met by he's in the house, and then this woman comes up and starts shooting at him. And then the copper he was speaking to comes along, starts shooting at him. And then he basically has to go on the run. Sorry?
On the lam.
On the lam, indeed.
Wow.
So, this film is messy as fuck. I was really enjoying it at first. Shot on film, looks great. Interesting score. And I thought it was going to be John David Washington basically going through almost like the Greek countryside, encountering people and then them helping or hindering him.
Yes.
And
what the trailer makes it look like.
Yeah. And it is that for maybe the first 45 minutes or so. But then he basically starts getting into kind of like more built out areas, and Vicky Creeps comes into it. Boyd Holbrook plays kind of like an embassy guy who is kind of like trying to help him get to he gets to the embassy, and then like he's trying to help him. And then it goes, okay, do you know what? Alicia Vikander, she's dead, don't worry about it. Instead, we're going to have this massive wrong man, wrong time conspiracy thriller where Beckett has accidentally uncovered a kidnapping. And it's like, what? And it seriously seems to forget what film it was previously. And then right at the end, it remembers that Alicia Vikander fucking died. It is a very, very odd film. It's not awful, but after the promising beginning, it is aggressively okay.
Is it just that's fine?
Yeah, honestly.
Like, the first half is 3.5 out of 5, and the second half is like 3.
Yeah, I think that's fair. If the cast wasn't the cast, you'd probably never watch it. That's it. You know, John David Washington, I don't know, he's not that great in this. You know, he's playing this everyman, but all the way through. And I mean, he's hindered by the screenplay, but he gets really focused on this conspiracy plot, and it's just a bit like, all right, dude, I understand you're on the run, but also your wife just fucking died, and it just seems so random that it's like, okay, what's the wrong man, wrong place, wrong time thing? He's going to crash his car off a cliff and see a couple of people in a house. You probably could have seen a couple of people in a house without fridging Alicia Vikander. Very odd film. Very odd film. So that's Beckett. Rewatched a couple of the Carpenters. Watched both on 4K. Watched Halloween, which is Halloween. I don't think I need to talk about Halloween. I will just say I love how shitty the friends are to Jamie Lee Curtis. They're such bad friends.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
They're dicked. You are watching it going, Would she even be friends with these people?
No, she totally wouldn't. It's great.
No, she's friends with them because it means that she gets to have friends. They're friends with her because she does their homework.
Pretty much. Yeah. And Nancy Loomis, I'm a fan.
Yes.
Yes. Also watched The Fog, which also looks great on 4K. I really, really like The Fog. It's woolly. The bits kind of don't quite fit together, which is borne out by the reshoots they did and the fact that Carpenter just wasn't generally happy with it. But I think it's got a great sense of place and atmosphere. I like that it takes its time. Once it gets going, it's pretty fucking great and nasty, and the score's brilliant. So that is The Fog. Watched my Pirates rewatch continues. I watched Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, which is incredibly dull.
Yes.
The Verbinski ones, like the second two, aren't great, but there's always chaotic shit going on. There's interesting visuals. On Stranger Tides is real autopilot shit.
Is it Rob Marshall?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Yeah. No memorable action. Ian McShane is fucking just boring as Blackbeard.
Yeah. It's almost like that moment could have only have happened that year.
Yeah, totally. Like, I'll watch Salazar's Revenge or Dead Men Tell No Tales, depending on where you are. I'm going to watch that because I've never seen it before, and I want to see Javier Bardem as a bad guy in a Pirates film. That feels like cool, great. I'm looking forward to that.
Better. It's not good, but it's considerably better.
That's brilliant. And the replacements for Keira Knightley and Orlando Bloom in this, Jesus wet. Sam Claflin and Astrid Burgess Frisbee, apparently, fucking awful fucking stuff that they're doing. Just so fucking boring, and just adds 20 minutes to a film that didn't need 20 minutes adding to. It's bizarre. So there is that. Jesus Christ, I've got a lot. Sorry. Rewatch Moana. Moana is great. Shall I pass it to you guys and then finish off after?
Yeah, Bex, what have you been watching? Because you watched some things on your own, or things Isabel, didn't you?
Yes. So where are we starting? Are we starting from Big Trouble?
Yes.
Okay. We watched that together.
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Spoiler alert.
Soz, guys. So I watched 28 Weeks Later, which is it a better movie than 28 Days Later? Yes. Is it a better central performance than 28 Days Later? No, obviously not. Cillian Murphy is fucking great in 28 Days Later, but 28 Weeks Later has been absolutely slept on. It's a banger of a movie. It's a really good horror movie.
The weird thing is I've seen a lot of people talking about it. Is it just like arrived on Netflix
It's
or
on
something?
Disney Plus,
Disney
yeah.
Plus. Right, that makes sense then, because sometimes this can happen. I've seen a lot of people talking about it and saying, hang on a minute, is this like the underappreciated horror movie of like the past 20 years?
It absolutely is. It's just fucking great. And it's kind of where, like, obviously it's not a zombie virus that we've been dealing with, but it's kind of where we're at now, where people think we're coming out the other side of it and the threat's gone, and then it comes back with a fucking vengeance because people get lax. So from like a timing point of view, it was a really good time to watch it. But yeah, would absolutely, if you like 28 Days Later and you just think, do you know what, need it to be a little bit more a little bit less thinking, a little bit more. More. All right, you did a stupid one. 28 Weeks Later, your man. I watched The Hole with Keira Knightley and Thora Birch. With Isabel, actually, because, you know, she's my little film watching bud. She was very dissatisfied with the ending of that movie. But she's just going to, like, get away with it. Well, yeah, sometimes that happens. Well, that's not fair. Everyone died. That's her fault. She had the key the whole time. So yeah, The Hole is exactly as good as you remember it if you can just put your thumb up against the screen every time Lawrence Fox's face is there.
Does Keira Knightley get her boobs out in that? And it's
Yeah.
really weird because she's fucking young.
Yes.
She does. She flashes Lawrence Fox, actually.
God, Lawrence
It's not as weird as,
Fox
it's not as
as
weird
well.
as the Thora
Yeah.
Birch one, though. In American Beauty, when Thora Birch got her boobs out for no actual real reason, and she was only like 16, 17, I had to get special dispensation from her parents to do it.
Yeah. It's a bit icky, is that? But then it was a Kevin Spacey movie, so
I don't
maybe the
think,
icky was...
I don't think he's her.
Yeah, but
She's his name.
No, but maybe the ick just got around.
It got around. Yeah.
Watched Evolution.
Yeah.
David Duchovny movie.
Nice.
I love Evolution.
It's a fun movie.
I really, really, genuinely adore Evolution. It is funny as fuck. And the fact that they beat the alien with Head and Shoulders is magnificent.
Yeah, that is good.
Watched The Rules of Attraction because I accidentally got it mixed up with Gossip and watched it. And then watched Gossip, obviously.
How does Rules of Attraction hold up? Because it's not that great. It's even Bret Easton Ellis, who is a man of questionable taste at the best of times. Even he's a little bit like, I'm not quite sure. It feels a little bit to me, and I wrote the fucker.
Yeah, it is a bit ugh.
But it seems to revel in it. Ugh.
Yeah, which I think you've got to respect it for. It doesn't hide it.
The book's
it wants to be.
The book's very different.
Is it?
Yeah, the book's very
But
different.
it wants to be nasty, and it wants to be everyone's shit to everyone, and everyone deserves whatever shit they get because everyone's shit.
And this is one of the very few times I'm going to say this, but I tend to say it about all Bret Easton Ellis. The book makes it work better than the film.
Fair play.
The same as American Psycho.
You're not normally a book guy, are you?
No, but I
You
am.
can't read.
I no.
It's paid for you.
It literally is, yes.
Yeah.
I do enjoy audiobooks. But I had a period, didn't I, for a few years where I read Bret Easton Ellis a lot.
Yeah, just solely Bret Easton Ellis.
Yes.
As well.
And like, not even like just, I read all of his books that were out at the time and then just read them all again and then again.
Yeah.
You know, for a man who, and I will fully admit that in the past 20 years, I have read nowhere near as many books as I probably should have read in the past 20 years. From reading a lot when I was younger, that I have actually read American Psycho like 7 or 8 times.
Which I cannot get like 50 pages into because it's too dense.
No, and then if I started reading it like tonight, that'd be it too. I just mainline it for like a day or two.
Yeah. Yeah, the rules of attraction. It's fine. It doesn't really leave you with a sense that anything is good in the world, but it's fine. It's nowhere near as smart as it thinks it is.
No.
And I'm really glad that they just stopped trying to make James Van Der Beek and his weirdly long face happen, because that's disconcerting.
There was 2 things that were trying to be made to happen at that point.
Go on.
Shannon Sossamon and.
I like Shannon Sossamon.
The problem is, I think everyone kind of liked Shannon Sossamon, but Shannon Sossamon didn't like anybody and made it very apparent.
Oh, wow.
Yes, yeah. Apparently she's not a very nice person.
Wow. Oh, she seems so like delicate and like she'd be like whatever. Okay, so watched that, and then like I say, watched Gossip, which was the movie that I'd intended to watch when I watched Rules of Attraction.
Gossip's a great movie.
Watched Gossip with Isabel. Again, a lot of these were watched with Isabel because you were away, weren't you? She really fucking likes it, and she had a huge crush on it. Is it James Marsden that's in it?
Yes.
She's like, oh, don't blame her for doing that. Don't blame her for not caring that he's murdered people.
What noise did she make?
I'm not doing it again. She didn't care that he'd raped Kate Hudson because, you know, she didn't blame Lena Headey for, you know, getting on with him because he's hot. And then she was like slagging off.
Shallow daughter.
Yeah, she's slagging off Norman Reedus, saying that he was ugly. was a bit mean. You're a very shallow daughter. But she called the ending as well, which I was quite proud of her for. She's not dead. She faked to death. And her and what's his name? I can't remember what Norman Reedus' character is. Yeah,
Travis.
Poopy McGee.
They've come up with a plot to fake her death, and they're gonna get whatever James Marsden's character's name is. She properly like fucking clocked it straight away. I was really proud of her. Gossip is great. It's just such a good film. Rewatched Fair Street 1978 and 66 with Izzy because she'd watched the first one but not the second two. We don't need to talk about them because we've talked about them recently. Got talking with Izzy about The Hole when we were watching The Hole. Just to confuse you there for a second. So the children's in Bunny Ears horror movie, because it is terrifying, is The Hole.
Yeah, it is a bit nut.
Watch that.
Yeah, that bit in the bathroom is rough. I remember. In the toilets.
Oh gosh, yeah. And just a creepy little girl, and then the bit with the dad, where it goes a bit sort of weird and sort of sci-fi looking, and they're in an abyss, and like the little boy with the clown scaring him, and yeah, it's given too much credit, I think, to its target audience for not being little bitches. I think kids are nowadays. I think kids are more than we were when we were younger. Like we were quite
Dante was making a movie for kids from the 80s rather than kids from the 90s.
Yeah, but those aren't the kids now. So basically, he's just ended up making a film for us that goes, oh, do you remember when films for kids used to be like this? But again, really, really great film. And then the last one I watched on my own was Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again.
Sweet.
Because I will never, ever watch Mamma Mia again, because it is a unmitigated piece of shit. I hate it. Passionately hate it. Yeah. And I think a lot of that is Meryl Streep.
It could be.
But the production value on it is
ITV too.
Yeah, it's like a TV special. Whereas on this, it's all glossy Hollywood. And it just feels
Glossywood.
And you are
Glossywood.
It just feels bigger, and the musical numbers are better done, and it's all just great. And the girl that plays the young Christine Baranski character is absolutely spot on. And it's just
Lily James size as well.
Lily James, yeah, well, I'm not as keen on Lily James as you are. She's a bit of a homewrecker, isn't she now?
What?
The Dominic West thing?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I'm gonna look that up.
As if there is no way you don't know about that. Do you remember Dominic West having to do like a really awkward press conference outside his house with his wife saying, "Our marriage is very stable."
Yeah,
no,
it's not, because they're together again.
Right. Okay. I'm on Grazia Daily reading Dominic West and Lily James, the story explained.
Fair play. So, but yeah, she's good in this. But yeah, she has got thighs for days. Yeah. Oh, and then there's the Cher bit. But honestly, like I was watching it and I was all right. Musicals tend to get me because I think there's a lot of emotion poured into musical numbers in musicals. Like they're very like they're there to make you feel things. But I was doing all right, but I was tired. I had a bit of a rough day, and then Dancing Queen came on where they're going in the boats across the sea and they're going to rescue a party, and all these people have gone, and I just burst into tears. Pierce Brosnan doing his like cheesy dad dancing. Well, all of the dads doing their cheesy dad dancing. And the bit, oh my god, the bit where they're talking about like who's spread the news about the baby, and they're all like, well, I only told blah, he's my best friend. Well, I only told blah because he's the other dad. And then what's his name? Who's the other dad that isn't Pierce Brosnan or not him?
I can't remember. I didn't watch it like a day ago.
Oh God, what's he called?
Colin Firth.
Colin Firth's there, and he's clearly supposed to be a bit tipsy. And he goes, I told everyone. It's just a really joyful movie.
Yeah, it is. It is just joy.
It's a happy place. It's like, yeah, I really, really enjoyed it on rewatch. I was a bit worried that it might drop off a bit for me, but I think it just cemented it further. That's me.
Do you want me to do the ones that I watched solo?
Do it.
And then we'll do the quick ones that we watched together.
Just an update. There seems to be confusion about the whole Dominic West thing, and apparently West and his wife are still saying that they're together.
They might still be together, but there was photographic evidence of him having an affair with Lily James.
Yeah. Not great. I'm disappointed in her.
I am.
Fives for days, but
Nice,
disappointed
yeah.
in her.
I'm sorry, yeah, I'm fine with it. Don't bother me. That's it, isn't it?
Sorry. Go on, Mark.
So, being away and not having access to as many movies, just having access to Netflix Prime and anything like that, but also not having a great amount of time.
Yes.
So I didn't want to get caught in that loop of going, because essentially I was working from 8 in the morning till 9 o'clock at night, leaving, going to the hotel, quickly changing my t-shirt, then going out, having something to eat, quick drink, and then back to the hotel room. There we go. I didn't want to then get stuck going through Netflix and trying to find something. So I basically said, I will only watch films that I own on iTunes.
Fair enough.
So was limited myself to that. There's quite a few movies within that. So
just before you get to that, Grazia are also offering a way to entirely empty your bowels each morning.
Wow.
Are you interested? Sorry?
Does it involve coffee?
Is it
I'm gonna have a look
coffee?
now. Oh, it's taken me to another website.
Ian's getting a lot of things about bowels and coffee in his emails for the next 6 weeks.
It's weirdly taken. Hang on, I clicked on the link and it's just taken me to Google. It's like, what, a Grazia going, I don't fucking know, look it up yourself.
It would appear so.
I'm ever so sorry, carry on, I'm going to stop looking at Grazia now.
I mean, I only watched a few. So I rewatched Pretty in Pink because Becky hates it because of the dress.
Fucking dressy shit.
And I really, really like Pretty in Pink. I think it's a great fucking movie.
Can I ask you a really important question though?
What?
Do you like the hideous dress?
I don't mind the hideous dress.
It's fucking awful.
I really like Pretty in Pink because it's got peak Molly Ringwald in it. It's John Cryer as the friend who is obsessed and it's like that. And a recent kind of criticism of this has been that he has been directed at John Cryer's character, in that he reacts badly when he's rejected by Andy.
Isn't that just boys?
But my thing there is, yes, that's true, and it's a new thing of being angry with the phrase friend zoned.
Oh my God, would Ducky be an incel?
I don't think he'd quite be an incel now. I think he's too.
Maybe now if he had access to the internet.
No, I don't think he would be. But the thing is, and my point of always coming back to these types of movies is, you cannot bestow
modern sensibility.
No, modern sensibility. You cannot bestow adult sensibilities on these things because they're supposed to be children and their frontal lobes haven't fully developed yet. They haven't developed the proper brain skills to deal with these things. So they do deal with things as an over-the-top thing. It's why teenagers are so unreasonable. And all of these things. So that is my quick for that there. But also, it has James Spader in it, playing just James Spader-ness. Just ultimate Spader within it. And yeah, it's any movie around this time, or even any movie now or anything like that has James Spader in it, you know you're going to get some absolute fucking he just looks down on everybody around him, and it is glorious. If you want somebody to just take somebody down with a withering look, it is James Spader. But whilst at the same time managing to play an absolute piece of shit very, very well. It's glorious. I still really like Pretty in Pink, and it's one of my comfort movies.
Ugly dress though.
Also watched Welcome to Mooseport. Gene Hackman's last ever movie.
Oh, okay.
Yes. There we go. So yes, I'm the guy who's watched that twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like Welcome to Mooseport. It's Ray Romano, who is nowhere near as funny as America thinks he is, but quite funny. And Gene Hackman just being quite Gene Hackman-y in it.
What's it about?
We watched it. It's the one where Gene Hackman plays the ex-president who has lost his house but has kept the summer house in Moose Part, and goes to Moose Part and they try and make him mayor.
Oh, do you know, it's alright, is it?
Yeah, it is. And then the other one I watched, another one of my comfort movies, A Good Old Fashioned Orgy.
Yeah. Your comfort movies leave a lot to be desired.
My comfort movies often are movies that Becky will not watch with me.
Wow. Your comfort time is time spent away from me. I quite know how to take that.
Fuck you. Yes, everyone's favourite American soccer coach, Jason Sudeikis, is in this.
Oh.
And yeah, I've spoken about it before numerous times, so people who've listened a lot will be going, yes, we're still not going to watch it, Mark. Nobody's going to watch it. Why have you watched it this many times? But I really like it. It's fun. It's a movie that is just friends fucking hanging out and just being dumb, and I quite like that. Yeah.
I forgot one.
Oh, go on.
Watched Fight Club with Isabel as well. Spent the entire runtime just sat with Isabel being thirsty over Brad Pitt.
No, I think we've all been there.
Yeah.
What else did we watch, Becky? We watched Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
We did. I've not loved that for some reason.
Didn't we?
Yes.
Don't think we need to say too much about Fast Times at Ridgemont High, do we?
5-star banger.
5-star banger, still great. We also watched Big Trouble in Little China. Again, don't think we need to say.
5-star banger.
5-star banger, yeah, there you go. And we also watched Mallrats.
5-star banger.
5-star banger.
We watched a lot of regulars, didn't we?
We did watch a lot of regulars. These were a lot of these movies were shit. We don't have much time to watch a movie. Let's just stick some on that we know that if we need to, we can turn it off later on, and then didn't turn them off.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah. What else are we watching, bud?
Okay, so what next? Okay, before I get into the kind of the horror ones, took Lottie to see Spirit Untamed yesterday, starring the vocal talents of Jake Gyllenhaal and Julianne Moore, which I didn't know before going in. This is not a sequel in the slightest to Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron from like 20 years ago.
Wait, it's not.
No.
Like, genuinely, it's not.
No, yeah, it's not.
But it looks exactly the same.
Yeah, so, I mean, the story is basically you've got a girl who is sent, basically her mother was a kind of like a rodeo rider and died falling off her horse when she was younger. Her dad sent her off to live with her grandfather. She comes, and then like 10 years later, she comes back for the summer to stay with her dad. The dad's voiced by Jake Gyllenhaal. She befriends a wild horse that she names Spirit, and Spirit's herd is then captured by some horse wranglers, and she, along with a couple of new friends that she's made, go to save Spirit's herd along with Spirit. I quite liked it. I'm not gonna lie. It was it's very, very frankly, it's made for girls. I don't think boys are gonna probably get much entertainment out of it. I wish they would, but they're probably not. It's quite gentle, very, very fast paced. Like, I swear it was probably about an hour and 15 minutes before credits. But it was fun.
Good voice cast as well.
Yeah, it is. There's some nice comedy moments. The lead girl and Spirit are very sweet together. And it finished, and Lottie just said, "I like that more than I thought I was going to." And it was like, well, that'll do then.
Did you go, me too?
Yeah, I did. I don't know how up she was for going to see it, if I'm honest, but she did. And she sat there and she watched the whole thing, and she was entertained. you know, but so was I enough, you know. I'm not going to say it's like the best animated film of the year, but it surprised me. It was a fun adventure tale. So, you know, if you've got kids, and I mean, maybe young lads would enjoy it, but you know, it's 3 girls are the leads and they have horses. So
horses and girls, it's like catnip.
Yeah, that's I think that's exactly what I'm trying to say. But hey, if it appeals to young boys as well, all fucking power to them. I'm not gonna denigrate that. And what can I say? This 37-year-old man quite enjoyed it. So hey, okay, horror time. Watched Censor, directed by Prano Bailey Bond. I don't know if that's how you pronounce her name. So very buzzed about film which came out last weekend. Didn't make an awful lot at the box office and seems to have disappeared already, which is interesting. So the story is Naeem Algar plays a censor, essentially working at the BBFC. They don't name it, but it's essentially the BBFC in the time of the video nasties. She has a sister who disappeared kind of on her watch years before. And she is very much into making sure that people are not disturbed by the things that they are watching. Not in a Mary Whitehouse kind of way entirely. It's made clear that she does pass stuff if it just seems ridiculous, you know, but it's like she is looking out for the dangerous stuff, which I thought was a good bit of character that kind of got you on side with her a bit more, actually, that like she's not just going along with the video nasties thing. So she... Oh, thank you, honey. Cheers.
Oh, good news. Me and Mummy are going.
Sorry?
We're going to the campsite.
When?
I meant like...
Oh, on Friday?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Sorry, I thought Lottie just said they were going camping like now.
No.
Lots, just while you're here, what did you think of Spirit Untamed?
It was pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, thanks for that. All right, love you.
It was about a guy who with a horse, and she had friends, but then her father didn't want her to ride a horse because her mother had died riding a horse.
And what did you say when the mother said, "Be brave and be bold"?
The mom's gonna die.
Yeah. It was quite something. Like right at the start of the film, it's this like flashback thing, and the mother says to her, and it's like first person view, "Be brave and be bold, Fortuna." And then as soon as she said that, Lots was just like, "Well, the mum's gonna die then." Yeah. It was just like absolutely got the read on it straight away. And no, I thought that was very clever of you, Lots.
It came from the book we're reading.
Yeah.
You know how the father says stuff and then he dies later on in the film. But
yeah, it's just the kind of stuff that they say where it's like, okay, and then they're gonna die.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, good stuff, Lots. Thank you very much, babe. Love you. Yeah, no, she.
Yeah, so we got a coastal one too.
Sorry.
On camping, we got a coastal.
You're gonna go camping on the coast?
Yeah. Well, not coast to coast, but near it.
That's pretty cool.
Like the one we went to on Sunday.
Oh, that would be great, though.
That one.
Oh, brilliant. But I'm excited for you.
Okay.
All right, nice one. Love you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Catch more fish.
Sorry?
We can catch fish again.
You're gonna go catch some fish?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be great.
We tried to catch fish before.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't like good enough to eat. They were like this size.
You're gonna try it again, though?
Yeah.
Okay. I better get back to it now, babe, if that's all right.
They were like this size.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Thanks, babe. Love you.
Love you.
All right. See you in a bit. Yeah, sorry about that. She's very excited. They're going camping, which I managed to get out of because I was actually already going out for dinner with some friends on Friday.
Oh, so you've got out of camping for the weekend?
Yep.
Well played.
Yeah. I mean, it was honestly, I was double booked, and Don was like, yeah, absolutely you were, like no hard time or anything, but they're going camping with some friends of ours, so lots is excited. Anyway, so yeah, censor. So yeah, she passes a film which then gets media notoriety because apparently somebody killed his wife, and then he says that, or there's speculation that he watched this film. So she's got this kind of like work pressure happening from that. And then she watches a film that seems to be about the events that led up to her sister's disappearance. And the woman in the film, she thinks looks like her sister. And then it goes on from there. So I alluded earlier on to like a film that completely drops the ball and the is it real, is it not aspect of it. High censor.
It's censor. I thought it might be a different movie.
Yeah. I was really disappointed in censor. I don't think it didn't unsettle me. It didn't disturb me. I thought that the opening half hour or so is very atmospheric and it's very well directed. Cool score as well. But as it goes on and as it starts kind of developing its ideas, that there is a certain point that from that moment on, I was like, right, I'm out. And then the more it went on, I was just like, yeah, you are not getting me back at all. And by the end of it, I was just like, yeah, all right, fine, whatever. Naeem Algar is very good. Like she's very good. Even though she is given some stupid shit to have to deal with, especially the last 25 minutes of the film are awful. And it is meh fright fest level stuff. And I think that it's got all the window dressing that will appeal to people, but with none of the insight. And the film itself seems to have things on its mind that wants to be elevated horror, or what it thinks of itself as elevated horror, but has got the window dressing of video nasty to try to appeal to folks who maybe want the baser stuff. And I don't think it works.
So it's trying to have its cake and eat it a little bit.
Yeah. Also, it's a film with video nasty dressing that is a 15. Really, really disappointing. I'm pretty sure it's a 15 anyway. I will just check that. But there is nothing in there that's disturbing. Nothing.
I'm sure it's 15.
It is a 15. Yeah. Yeah, I was really, really disappointed in it. I was looking forward to it, and Kermode had given it 5 out of 5, and a lot of the advanced press was pretty buzzing on it. I think it is interesting that the conversation around it seems to have completely died on its arse after opening weekend.
The weird thing is the conversation on it seems to have died out once people have seen it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I'm not alone on this one. That's the thing. It weirdly seems like, and even though even a lot of the critical commentary has been like, yeah, it's not great. I remember Film Junk Jay just talking about it in his What He Watched things a few months back and just going like, it was all right. And yet the way that the press attention that it has had in the couple of weeks leading up to it coming out made it seem like it was like the next big horror film. And The Night House came out the same weekend and made about 6 times as much. And I'm pretty glad about that, because The Night House is a good, interesting horror film. Censor is not. I gave it 2 out of 5 on Letterboxd. I've got a written review on Pod Syndicate as well, because I just wanted to get some thoughts down about it. And yeah, no, I'm not surprised it's disappeared. And it was interesting because Kermo was then being a little bit passive aggressive, and I get it because he gets a lot of people atting him, saying, "Oh, so it didn't do that well at the box office." Well, who gives a shit? But I think when a film has been that buzzed about and then makes 50 grand, that something has gone wrong there. And I don't know. It was playing fuck all times. I don't know about you guys, but the Cineworld, it was playing once a day. The Odeon, it was playing twice a day. So like Vertigo just did not get the screens. Bizarrely, Vertigo releasing and then the MGM logo came up. Wasn't
I don't think it was playing in an awful lot of Cineworlds outside of Wales.
And which is bizarre because it had been getting buzz.
Yeah, I was surprised it didn't play, but it didn't play like in any of the Cineworlds near us. It wasn't even like playing like Leeds or anywhere like that. Our Cineworld is a 13-screen cinema. It's not a small cinema.
And that's I do wonder whether the bookers for the chains watched it and just went, you can have all the good critical reviews you want. People aren't going to watch this. It does make me wonder. But yeah, I wish it was better. Do you know what else I wish was better? I watched the original Candyman, but obviously we'll talk Candyman later. Do you know what else I wish was better? Demonic.
Is it Demonic?
Right. Opening film at Fright Fest. How the fuck? It is literally Neil Blomkamp must be the only thing, and then he wasn't there. It was a video intro. And it's again. I mean, the Fright Fest guys. I mean, God, they opened with the Seasoning House that one year. So it's how they choose their opening night films. I don't know. It's bizarre. But you started with Demonic, which is a film that has got a couple of really interesting ideas and does nothing with them, and is dull as dishwater. Story is a woman is kind of living her life, and she is told of this clinic which is housing her mum. She hasn't spoken to her mum for a number of years. Why? Because the last time she really saw her mum burned down an old people's home and killed everybody in it. Her mum is now in a coma, and this medical institution are trialing this technology that basically lets you go into a simulation of that person's mind. And they want her to go in there and to basically talk to her and try and get her out of this locked in syndrome she's in.
So it sounds a little bit like the Jennifer Lopez movie, The Cell.
The Cell, yeah, quite. She goes into her mind. She's been possessed, and then the demon kind of wants her. So then she comes out the simulation, and then it basically turns into this very plodding. She starts getting stalked by this demon stuff. Every now and then she goes back into the simulation to have a chat with her mum. And then, so the simulation is interesting. It's this kind of, the way they present it at times is this Sims-esque isometric view, which is cool. Also, the medical institute, it is revealed, spoilers for Demonic, it is revealed that they are not doctors, they are priests. And at one point, they're all getting kind of kitted out, and they're getting religious weapons, and they're all tattooed. And they're right, we're going to go to this place where she's at, and we're going to go and basically weaponize an exorcism. It's that's really interesting. That's cool. I like that. And then you don't see any of it. the film was shot during COVID, and it was obviously shot on a low budget, and you know it doesn't look like shit. Like it looks fine, but there's just like it's very sparse. There's fuck all people in it, and like there is a scene with the demon in the end that is just taking place in a corridor. And it's like anything, like most scenes that you think would be cool are entirely off screen and you just see the aftermath. And there is an incredible bit where one of the priests is dying in a car and just gives Trinity in the Matrix Revolutions-esque dying speech where it's an exposition dump and it's just this priest with his throat slashed who's fucking dying. It's embarrassing. What Neil Blomkamp thought he was doing here, I don't know. It feels very opportunistic. It feels just like I might actually be able to get some people to give me some money to make a film because no one's making films because COVID. And he's just made this film that has got, like I say, a couple of interesting ideas and does nothing with them. It's about an hour and 45 minutes long, and it is so fucking plodding, it's untrue.
It's odd that he made District 9, Elysium, and Chappie in a 6-year period, and then hasn't made a movie for 6 years, and then it's this.
It's bizarre. It's bizarre. It feels like a producer's-esque situation. Like somehow somehow Neil Blomkamp is going to make money by this film losing money. But he won't, because he wrote it, directed it, produced it. Fucking baffling. And I mean, honestly, I know the whole thing with Fright Fest is a lot of it is going there for the experience, but don't treat your fucking patrons like morons putting this on as the opening night film. What are you doing? That just says to me, if you're playing that at opening night, what the fuck are you playing at 2:00 in the afternoon on a Saturday in the Discovery screen? Is it literally just someone taking a shit?
It could be.
It is aggressively dull. It is demonic.
It's the first movie from Blomkamp's production studio as well, isn't it?
Sure.
Yeah.
I like Chappie. I'll defend Chappie. I'm not saying this is a Blomkamp hate. Like, a lot of people are now doing some revisionist history on District 9 and going, actually, that wasn't that good. Fuck off. Everyone loved District 9. I loved District 9 when it came out.
I've rewatched it recently. It's still great. I'm really
there you go. So I'm honestly, I'm not saying with this because it's like it's fashionable to bash Neil Blomkamp. He's made a bad film.
The thing is, I've liked all of his films so far.
Mm-hmm. To varying degrees, I have as well. You know.
Yes. I think District 9 is a very, very good film. I thought people were a little bit too hyped by it. I liked Elysium. It's a bit dumb, and it's a big dumb action film that thinks a little bit more. And Chappie has its charms.
It does. Disappointing, but I was expecting it. Censor, disappointing, and I wasn't expecting it. So in a way, that might even be worse.
Yeah, I can see what you mean.
Yeah. Cool. That's me.
Right. Reminiscence. What? I'm leaving the big one to the end.
Yeah, I know.
I'm teasing people.
Let's be honest.
Talking about Reminiscence, it's only going to take like 30 seconds.
Yeah, are we actually going to take more than 10 minutes on Reminiscence is my question. So, yeah.
Well, I'm going to fucking monologue then. I will do 10 minutes on Rebecca Ferguson's feet.
I mean, you could.
It's directed by Lisa Joy, written by Lisa Joy as well.
He wouldn't last 10 minutes on her feet, sorry.
It stars Hugh Jackman, Rebecca Ferguson, Sandy Newton, Cliff Curtis, and Daniel Wu. What is the plot? Nick Bannister, private investigator of the mind, navigates the alluring world of the past when his life is changed by a new client, May. A simple case becomes an obsession after she disappears, and he fights to learn the truth about her. So it's set in a futuristic world where climate change essentially has caused the waters to rise, and now essentially cities are partially flooded and behind big floodgates, etc. There are also rich people who live on dry land, or more dry land, called barons. Right? Just add a little bit more spice to it. So that's synopsis from IMDb.
Forrest Whitaker was half an hour away from me today, by the looks of it. Fuming. Sorry.
Reminiscence. Bex, what expectation did you have for this, and were they anywhere close to being met?
Well, I thought it looked good, so no.
Oh. I don't think we've actually spoken about this movie, have we, since we watched it?
No, and you know what? The more I've thought about it since watching it, the more disappointed I am in it.
Okay, go on.
It's just so toothless, isn't it? It's trying to do this whole noir thing, but then it forgets it's trying to do a whole noir thing towards the end. And the only bit that made it interesting, which was the noir thing, goes out the window. The ending of it is telegraphed so fucking obviously that you're like, of course she's in the fucking clapboard house in the middle of the sea. Of course she is.
Yeah.
I could have told you that hours ago.
There is that. Yeah, I will happily give you that. Yeah.
It's so disappointing because it's an interesting premise. It's a decent cast, and then it just does not capitalise on that at all. It shoots its shot and it wastes it.
It's a proper in one eye out the other film.
Yeah. Nothing about it really story-wise has stayed with me particularly, apart from the bad bits that make me more and more angry. Stop pulling that little cheeky face that's going to be like, I really loved it. It's just because it's got Rebecca Ferguson in it, so just turn your dick off for a minute and turn your brain on.
I tried, it'll work.
I mean, Hugh Jackman as Captain Toxic, who actually turns out to be right. Not into that at all. He is such a fucking arsehole to like everyone around him. Like Tandy Newton just treats her like a piece of shit and like, you're gonna help me or what? No, if not, you fuck off. Rebecca Ferguson has this relationship with her, doesn't seem to be for that long, and is then just obsessed. I honestly thought it was gonna turn out that like he was almost like Under the Silver Lake or something, and it was just going to turn out that he'd been obsessed with this woman for absolutely no reason whatsoever, and he just burnt everyone around him. Like even that bit like where they're doing the first time that they do the doing the memories of the person who's like nearly dead, and those people call him in to get that information on that guy. Yeah. And then he spots her, and then he spends the entire time going like, no, just a second, go back to her. And the coppers are like, that's not what we pulled you in for. Give us the information on that guy. Yeah, but just a second. And then as soon as he gets everything he needs, he just fucks off and leaves them to it. I would be so annoyed. Like, he's just this fucking bulldozer of boner, like, throughout the entire film. And then at the end, he's right. It really annoyed me. It really, really annoyed me. And do you know what? When Tandy Newton is the presence I am least annoyed by in a film, you done fucked up. And it just, sorry, because I've completely railroaded this, but fuck it. I'm just going to say my piece and then I'm done. The world building in this film is really interesting. Why is it there? But you know what I mean, though? Is it literally like the seas have risen so that we can have this twist that the kid was actually on this fucking house in the middle of the sea? Is like, what is the reason for it other than we've got this budget to play? It's like, shit, we came in $20 million under budget, Lisa. Oh, fuck. All right. Should we add a bunch of visual effects and make it seem like it might be about global warming, but it really isn't? This film fucking bobbins. Like, but not bobbins I particularly hate, apart from the Hugh Jackman character, because it's got some interesting shit in it, and Rebecca Ferguson is doing that thing that she does perfectly well. I kind of want her to stop doing that thing that she does. I'm done. Of course you did. Of course you did. Because you are the bulldozer boner. You probably sympathised with Hugh Jackman.
I thought he was all right.
Yeah, of course you did.
Yeah, I didn't really get the Hugh Jackman toxicity vibe off it.
But when he says it, it does actually make sense what he's saying. I agree.
Well, I think he's supposed to be concerned about her, like, well, she wouldn't just leave. So something must have happened.
But the film does make you think that their relationship lasted like a week.
Oh yeah, right, yeah.
But then as soon as it's like she's a wrong'un, then it kind of turns and he's like, she's a fucking wrong'un. I need to find out why she was a wrong'un. Why you need to find out why she's affecting me. Why do I feel sad? I'm a sad Hugh Jackman with a boner, and my boner's not being put into Rebecca Ferguson, and I'm annoyed.
Fair enough.
The thing is, I can't disagree with anything either of you said, because it's all true. But I kind of, and it is absolutely in one eye and out the other. But I kind of enjoyed my time with it. We watched it of a Sunday afternoon, didn't we? And so I quite liked watching it of a Sunday afternoon. It's a very afternoony movie. Afternoony
movie.
Yeah. Thandie Newton is somebody who usually is nails down a chalkboard to me. I thought she was actually quite good in this.
Yeah, I quite liked her in this. She was one of the more likeable characters, to be fair.
It's always nice seeing Cliff Curtis.
Yeah.
You do know who Cliff Curtis is. However, the fucking star of the goddamn whole fucking show.
Is it Rebecca Ferguson's fate?
It's not Rebecca Ferguson's fate.
Okay.
It's close.
It's these.
But
Is it that bit where she gets naked and she's like, well, you want to see it all anyway?
I mean, that's a fucking good point. It's just a good point, that. It cuts out the middleman. Daniel Wu as Saint Joe. Fucking loved that character.
It's a good scene.
Give me a fucking spin. Because I'm not just being Mark's an idiot here, I don't think. I might be, but I genuinely don't think I am. The scene where Jackman goes back, we get a first scene of him there, and he's generic bad dude. But the scene where he goes back and he's explaining like where his name came from, and he's trying to piece together, who the fuck are you? Because you're not who you fucking say you are. So who the fuck are you, and why the fuck are you here? He is fantastic in that scene. He is absolutely, like, captivatingly fucking brilliant watching it going, do you know what? Don't care about the rest of this stuff. I want a spin-off of just fucking that guy. I want the fucking Saint fucking Joe story because it looks better than what we're watching.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. He's fantastic in it. It's so I was gutted. I was like, you just won me over, Thandie. Then you go and shoot the only fucking good character in this movie. It's subpack. It's noir for people who have seen 3 noir movies. It's noir for people who have watched The Maltese Falcon, Blade Runner, and maybe another that they think is noir and isn't. Probably Dark City.
It's a global warming film for people who think that global warming could look cool.
If you'd have said to me, right, during the movie, in fact, I did say this to you actually, I think. Lisa Joy, by the way, she was a big time director of a TV show that's come out in the past 10 years. I would have gone, oh, Westworld.
Yes. Yeah, I didn't know that.
And I haven't even seen I watched like the first 3 or 4 episodes of it, and then realised it was TV, and then turned it off and put a movie on.
Was it the Westworld?
It wasn't the Westworld movie because that's nowhere near as good as people try to tell you it is.
It's alright.
It's fine. It's fine. It's not a classic. People might tell you it's a classic. It's not.
Maybe it's good for its time.
It won't. But yeah, I enjoyed Reminiscence enough, but it's a 3.5 out of 5 movie for me. Will I ever watch it again? Yeah, probably. But I'm an idiot.
You are an idiot.
Yeah.
You're going to watch certain sections for 45 seconds at a time.
Yes. St. Joe will get an awful lot of my time. I think I might watch just that bit again because he was brilliant in it. What else is that fucker in? Because he is charismatic as fuck. I'm basically just going to go and watch all of his movies. It's a lot. Yeah. I was all right with it. So I'm definitely not shit. I'm guessing I might be alone on this gun.
The thing is, it's not shit. It's just.
Are you touching clothbacks, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it will probably be my most disappointing of the year.
Where are you with it?
I think I probably need to revise my letterbox rating. I'm going to say shit. I just didn't really get on with it. Yeah, shit.
Right, our audience poll: Death Not Shit 33%, Touching Cloth 33%, Shit 22%, and Geostorm 12%. I think I might be at a tilt into Geostorm rather than Definitely Not Shit.
Can we talk about a film directed by a female filmmaker that I actually liked before people think things?
I think Bernard Rose was a man.
No, we're good. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to do it all.
We'll
do it all. So, Candyman has finally come out. It is directed by Nia DaCosta and stars. Wow, fucking hell, it's testing me with this one, isn't it?
It's not hard.
Go on then.
Well, Yahya Abdul-Mateen.
All right, fuck you.
Fiona Paris.
How are you going to say it, Mark?
Yahya Abdul-Mateen.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Definitely how you're going to say it.
Fucking hell. It was my brain as that, and it went all the way down and still came out as that.
If you've got a lead actor in a movie with a name as badass as that, you don't get it wrong.
And he's the second as well. There was a first one.
Yeah, Coleman Domingo was in there as well.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking like that guy.
Yeah.
I was looking at his Instagram earlier. It's just pictures of him with his husband. It's really nice.
Aww. What else is he in?
Zola.
Yeah, he was in Zola. I think that's why we like him.
Zola.
He's fucking brilliant in Zola.
He genuinely is fucking brilliant in Zola. He's got an awful lot out of the past couple of years. But yeah, so right. What is the story about? Of course, it is a sequel that forgets the other sequels, is a key point, I think, to make on the Candyman-ness of it.
Beale Street, I think, is what I recognise him from.
Oh, he is in... Yeah, he is in that, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. A sequel of the horror film Candyman that returns to the now gentrified Chicago neighborhood where the legend began. In present day, many years after the last of the Caprini towers were torn down, Anthony and his partner moved into a loft in the now gentrified Caprini. A chance encounter with an old-timer exposes Anthony to the true story behind Candyman. Anxious to use these macabre details in his studio as a fresh gist for painting, he unknowingly opens a door to a complex past that unravels his own sanity and unleashes a terrifying wave of violence. Becky. Candyman is yours and mine, one of our favourite horror movies, I believe.
My favourite movies.
Yes, it is my favourite horror movie. Did Candyman manage to, because you were very hyped on this, weren't you?
Yes.
Did it manage to satisfy you enough to not feel a little bit let down? Or was it a let down?
Absolutely not. No, like to the point where I'm so relieved that I don't feel like, as part of a discussion, a larger discussion, I will be able to get my points across of why I liked it or not. But I feel like I can't articulate my feelings about this film like as just a monologue-y kind of situation. But no, it didn't disappoint. It takes the story in different directions than the original movie does. You can't just do a beat for beat because that wouldn't have worked, and so it works what it does, and it adds interesting additional layers, I think, to the original mythology of Candyman, which enrich it, I think, rather than just trying to do a straight up sequel. It expands upon it. The story's messy and the mythology is messy. That I think could have been done better, but I think overall it works. There's bits where you can go, that doesn't make sense. That's not, but then that's not true to the original. Well, it's taking that and moving on from it with it. Taking that, it's not disrespecting it, but it is making it a larger mythos, I suppose.
Yes.
Obviously, you've got additional social commentary elements to this, whereas I think the first one, it's very much front and centre, but it isn't. It shares that centre with the Candyman, the horror-y kind of elements, whereas this is very much.
It's more about that than the horror. Yes.
Yeah. So I think, like I said to you when we came out of it, the first one is horror is maybe an inch higher than, if you're scaling it, than the social commentary element. This one, it's the other way around.
Yes. Almost like a mirror image.
Whoa. Almost.
Yes.
But I don't think it feels preachy with it. Do you?
We'll get to that. Ian, you watched, am I right in thinking you watched Candyman for the first time fairly recently?
So, I watched Candyman last week.
Definitely wasn't first watch.
It definitely wasn't my first watch because I remember bits.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think I might have blocked it out. It would have been in my teenage years that I watched it. And there's some fucking imagery in that film.
Yeah. There really is.
And the whole, I was listening to the Evolution of Horror podcast, which is fucking fantastic. I only kind of discovered it last week. Great podcast. And they were talking about how the halfway point in a screenplay, it's very it's a really important point for where you're at with it, and how a good screenplay, it's it goes up to the halfway point and then down, which sounds obvious, but it's you're very much at that point separating things off, and it's about halfway that Helen encounters Candyman in the car park.
Yeah.
And then she wakes up and then all hell breaks loose. And that first half is wonderfully foreboding, but there's not that many scares or anything. It's about atmosphere. And then the second half is just some of the most fucking unsettling shit. But not in a kind of a gory way. But just fucking creepy and depressing. But also with some of the imagery, weirdly, just very, very artfully put together imagery. And yeah, I mean, it will stay with me, will Candyman. And that ending fucking bangs as well. As soon as he started saying Helen, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Tony Todd can say the shit out of Helen.
It's not.
Oh no! I mean, at the end, when Sandy Berkeley. Yeah, when it.
Tony Todd.
Oh no, Helen.
Love that.
Yeah, no, I mean that's great. But as soon as Xander Berkeley started saying, kind of crying and saying Helen, I was like, yeah, let's fucking go. Great stuff. So yeah, I was very, very hyped going into Near the Costa's Candyman after watching that, and I don't think it's gonna have the same resonance through the years, but I think there are definitely problems. But I think it's a really fucking interesting bit of work, which has had a lot of care and attention paid to the filmmaking. But frankly, if there is a 2-hour cut of this, I would like to see that. You barely ever say a film needs to be longer. This fucking, particularly the last 20 minutes of this film need to be longer. As soon as Candyman man, the man who will become Candyman, I can't remember his fucking name, Anthony. As soon as McCoy, that's it. He's walking down like the Cabrini Green and then sees that flashing and then walks towards it. From there on, it's like, right, this needs to take its time now. And instead, it fucking motors through. Like, suddenly Coleman Domingo is like just spilling exposition about what he was actually doing all along. And there are moments that are fucking fantastic in that section. And the last 20 seconds are fucking incredible before the credits. But it just felt like it was rushing, and like it was like the studio were like, this needs to be less than 95 minutes. But I don't think that was the case, because Jordan Peele is a powerful enough presence that I think as a producer he would be able to back Nia DaCosta. But I don't. Something went wrong in that last 20 minutes or so, and maybe it was in the screenplay. I don't know, but it definitely let the air out of the balloon, I think, after a fucking banger what had come before. But Mark, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I think it was in the screen, but I think that they wanted to, for the right reasons, etc. They wanted to bring the idea. The key thing is the bit that made Candyman brilliant. Take away from the casting and things like that, and the direction and the Philip Glass score and all of that.
That score, though.
The thing that made it brilliant was what they did was they took a short story written by Clive Barker that was set, I believe, in Liverpool, in a tower block in Liverpool, and then that wouldn't have worked for a film, a budget horror film. So they transported it to America, and they looked at it and went, what city closely can mirror this? And they landed on Chicago. Boston was too obvious. It was because there was a point where it was going to be Boston, but Boston was too obvious because they went, well, no, there's that's just because of the Irishness of it and Liverpool and its proximity to Ireland. So they chose Chicago because it made sense. And part of that was they chose Cabrini Green, which was a what place that was there. Now, what has happened to Cabrini Green in the years since is literally what Candyman is, that this one is now. It has been gentrified, and it has moved along there. So there's a symmetry to that. However, I do think within the screenplay that there's a possibility that Jordan Peele, Neil Costa, and Wynne Rosefield, they got a little bit too caught up in all of those bits, and then didn't quite know how do we get an ending. We know where we want to be at the end of it, so because they landed that, and we know how we want to get there, but
there's this gap.
There's this gap that's there. At the ending of Candyman, you could think that that's quite rushed, because once she gets back to Cabrini from the mental institution, it's quite quick.
And finds Anthony, yeah.
But you're taking it from when she escapes from the mental institution. That's the ending.
Yeah.
And she goes back to the apartment and finds that Trevor is with the girl and all of that.
That scene is so fantastically done.
Yeah, it's a great scene.
And there's bits like that. So you've got that. And the problem is with Candyman here is it's telling on its social story, but it gets its horror story not quite right.
Yeah.
In the sense that it's
using the Candyman horror story as a jumping off point to make a social commentary rather than getting social commentary into a Candyman movie.
Yeah, which works really well, and it does help within it. But then you've got some bits that just don't quite land with it. So the art critic killing feels a little bit too De Palma-y for me. It feels wrong within the fabric of this movie.
What do you mean, like that shot?
The shot, yeah.
Oh, I fucking love that shot.
I love the shot. I love the shot, but it felt a little bit like, right, that feels out of context. But that feels like you're doing something that looks fucking cool, but it doesn't make sense.
But it's very similar to the scene where the gallery owner and his little chippy die earlier on, where they can see him in the mirror, but they can't see him.
But again, but this is my other point: is it is a little bit like they've become obsessed with the mirror, the man in the mirror thing. The Candyman,
he's not.
And that's the problem. So you've got that element of it, down to the point of where literally the opening credits are a mirror image of the opening credits from the first one.
You quite like that one.
I liked when I watched it, but then I didn't realise they were just going to keep going with the mirror thing after having the reversed studio cards as well. But then when you have that, the opening credits are kind of fantastic with the street shot, and then this is. Granted, it's CGI. It's not what is it? But it would make sense. But it is from looking up. But everything seemed to be let's make it a mirror image. Let's make it a mirror image. Let's do that. Let's do that. Mirror. It just felt a little bit.
You call him in the mirror in the first one. He doesn't stay in the mirror.
No,
calling him essentially lets him out of the mirror to get you.
Yeah, that's my thing.
Yeah.
I didn't quite get along with that bit of it.
Just that shot, the art critic. I don't know whether that's me reading too much into it, but I just thought it was an interesting kind of comment on this art critic who's like quite a big fish in her pond. In the end of the day, when she gets murdered, she's just being fucking killed in this anonymous kind of almost like block of flats, but they're nice flats. Just as any old some person getting murdered in like anonymous person in a flat elsewhere could be murdered. Like it's quite a nihilistic. There you go. She's fucking
social construct kind of thing.
Yeah. Which, it's probably perfect. Right, I probably completely missed that bit of it. But
as it pans out and the people in the flats above and below and to either side are just carrying on with what they're doing. I thought that was quite clever. Yeah.
But you could also. You could have made a little bit more about the fact that was that what she was living in was all projects or something like that. But or that it's not the old project. It's the other side of the L train.
Or it's where Helen lived.
Where Helen used to live.
Yeah.
Just little bits like that could have just elevated it. But the thing is, excuse me. Overall, I did really like it. Performance-wise, it's fantastic.
The thing is, I think they've completely wasted an opportunity though. Because yes, Anthony McCoy was kind of a bit more primed, I guess, to get possessed by Candyman and become the next iteration, the next generational iteration of Candyman. But he didn't need to be, really, did he? Like the William Burke character, who is no, not William Burke. That's Coleman Domingo, isn't it? Gosh, what do they call him? The Candyman that shows up throughout Sherman isn't like a previous victim that escaped from the Candyman. It's not like that has to be a thing for them to be the next one. So it feels like they've gone, it'd be really cool if the main character is Anthony McCoy out of the first one, the baby. Yes, I don't think that'd be a really cool idea. But then they've not really done anything with that. That doesn't mean anything.
No,
you know, he hears a story he becomes obsessed with. They could
he's drawn to it. He has a thing where he says, "I feel like I'm drawn to this place."
Yeah, I mean, sorry.
No, it's a nice little touch, but it doesn't feel necessary.
But I think this all draws back to what Ian was saying, that it feels like there's half an hour missing.
Mm.
Yeah. Because I mean, I don't know. The very, very ending, when Tony Todd comes up and he says, "Kill everyone," fucking loved it. Is that my read of that was the entire time, like you've been saying that there are these various Candymans and Candymen and whatnot, but essentially this whole thing is Daniel Robertal. Yeah. Or basically kind of orchestrating all of this. And he's basically like feeding off of these people and can then basically like subsume them. And then he like, and essentially he was pulling the strings all along. He was, well, him and Coleman Domingo, I suppose, but in two separate ways, because Coleman Domingo's character is trying to resurrect Candyman. Yeah. But then like Daniel is also trying to resurrect Candyman through Coleman Domingo resurrecting him. It's giving life to Tony Todd's character, who is then essentially wanting to consume Yahya Abdul-Mateen II's character. And now, like, at the end of this film, Tony Todd's Candyman is back. He is, like, the daddy. And now, through Teyona Paris saying kill everyone, he is reborn. Not as, like, all these other like, this idea of, like, there being a different Candyman for each generation. It's not that. He is now, the Tony Todd one is now back.
Yeah, it is. He's the original Candyman is the one that called all the other Candymen, essentially.
I don't know. That's my read on it.
Which is interesting.
That Candyman is more of a state of persecution,
which I think
rather than Robitaille just happened to be the first to die at Cabrini Green.
So his
blood seeped into the ground and infected various other men over the years to be, well, no, not even that, because they're not even really weird. Even Sherman's not weird. He just works at a fucking candy factory and gives kids sweets. It's not him being weird. Granted, he's running around in the walls, which is a bit fucking odd.
No, actually he's hiding.
Because they think of yeah. So I don't think that's what this film's getting at. I think it's getting at the Candyman entity is the spirit of these brutalized men.
So it's like, why does he turn into Tony Todd at the end then?
Because he turns into all of them throughout that scene.
Yeah. Turns into all the different.
He turns into the little boy. He turns into Sherman. He turns into, obviously, Yahya starts off as, and he turns into all of the ones that are
all the various
depicted in the
Candymen
cutouts over the credits.
Yeah, and the one it's each of the paintings.
Yeah.
The 5 times.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Because there's 5 Candymen.
I don't, because I just.
It could be. That's it. Because he paints 5 pictures, and there's 5 Candymen across the ages. That's why you have to say it 5 times.
So they're all in that last scene. Tony Todd just happens to be the last one.
He's the original.
Yeah.
The OG.
Do you know what would have been great?
No.
Because you know how, like, obviously the husband invokes Helen at the end of the last one. If Helen had been one of them.
It doesn't fit the narrative, but she technically did become a candy person.
Yeah, she did. So she should have been there.
Yeah, she should have.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. It feels like Mark said. Maybe there isn't another like 20 minutes or whatever that's been hacked away. Maybe it is just they didn't quite know what they were doing there, because you could have quite easily not had Tony Todd at the end. I mean, it was great to see him, but it's just the fact that he says kill everyone, and it's like that feels like a Tony Todd Candyman thing to do, which makes me think that it was just the Tony Todd one, all like pulling the strings all along, like that, you know. And I get that there are different readings, and I'm not saying that my one is the one, but is it purposefully ambiguous, or is it just the writing wasn't strong enough at the end there to really sell it?
I think there is an issue with the writing in there.
I think there is, but I don't think it's badly written.
No.
But I don't. I think there's maybe the story that they're telling is a different story to the one that people who are very, and I'm not saying they're not. I think they very much are, but are not a different to the ones that people who are big fans of the original want to be told a little bit.
I will say, in terms of the writing, there is one moment that I thought was fucking awful, where Anthony has just had his hand bandaged up, and that nurse or doctor is like, "Welcome home." And it's like,
that was.
What do you mean? Like, fuck me, that was inelegant.
Yeah,
I've been to the hospital loads of times. None of the nurses I've ever seen said to me, "Welcome home."
Well, you were.
No.
I was born in York Hospital.
You were. You were. Hospital.
Oh yeah, I was born in Fulford Maternity. Yeah. All right. Shut up.
But to be fair though, I thought the opening was really interesting. The fact that the opening pre-credits thing, you think is like a horror scare sequence, and then it completely tips it on its head, and it and it's like, actually no, that was like a fucking tragedy.
Yeah,
that happens. Like, I thought that was really fucking clever. The whole kind of unreliable narrator nature of the film was well done. And yeah, I mean, it's interesting because this hasn't been getting universally good word. Like, not everyone loves this film, but it's fucking interesting. It's interesting.
I mean,
it's not scary, but it's interesting.
That's baffled me as the what is it, the amount of it's not scary I've heard about it, and it's like, and I'm not even saying that I think it's scary, but a lot of horror isn't.
I think it massively depends on what you find scary as well. Like,
I find
body horror elements of this are very well done.
Creepy. Yeah, the fact that it's becoming a honeycomb around it.
Yeah.
Oh.
So if you find that kind of, the bit where he fucking pulls his fingernail off, that got us, didn't it?
Yeah. But people would say that's icky, not scary.
But it depends what you find scary.
Yeah, I find nail trauma scary.
Yeah, I find nail trauma.
I find honeycomb
that
scary.
And eye trauma.
Yeah.
I fully thought it was gonna go full on supernatural when he starts peeling the skin off his arm and they'd peel it and there'd be a hook underneath.
Oh yeah, the hook on a bee had come out of it. Something like that. Yeah, I didn't think it was gonna go a little bit like that, and it didn't.
I was a bit disappointed it didn't.
Yeah, thing is, overall, I think it's very, very good. But I was trying to say, the original Candyman, no one gave a shit about it for near 20 years. It's only in the past sort of decade or so it's starting to have a bit of a reevaluation. It was a very big movie at the time. It was a surprise hit at the time, but it's only just starting to kind of re-get it. Like, for years, Philip Glass wouldn't play Music Box because he hated it because he associated it with Candyman. And then he
that piece is called?
Yeah. Aww. And then he sat down and rewatched it again and realised that it was actually something different. Because a friend of him basically told him, "No, you're reading it completely wrong." And so he rewatched it and said, and then he will play it again now.
Well, so yeah, I mean, the score in this is great, but it's not as good as the reuse of that theme over the end credits.
Yeah, yeah.
No, so I was thinking a little bit during it. I was thinking, right, so have they not got the rights to it? Is there something like that?
They were saving it.
But they were just saving it. But it's a little bit nah, you could have literally, the first time he put on the hook and had that big thing, it should have gone out with a big dun 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 dun. Dun, dun, or something like that. You could have got it.
Yeah.
it was never going to touch the original for me.
No.
But I am very glad to say that it's not a disappointment. And I really, really liked it. And we might even go and see it again this week.
Yeah, I would like to go see it again.
Nice.
You know, beauty of a Cineworld Unlimited card.
Yeah.
It is that I can go and see it again. But I enjoyed it enough. But I think I will, on this viewing, I will go on an Easter egg hunt with it.
Yeah.
But I to the point of when we were watching it this time, I counted how many times Candyman was said in it.
Yeah.
From the start to when it is, so I was like, right, the first time Candyman's going to appear is going to be when it's said 5 times. For some reason, I had a bit of a, what is it?
Bit of a flash.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, he flashes up in the background.
Yeah, he flashes in the background. Like,
No, do you know what? I really loved it. It, like you say, it was never going to meet or surpass the original because it's just a fucking masterpiece. But it's very, very good, and it's a very respectful sequel, I think, to the first one. More so than the fucking weird one set in New Orleans is.
Yeah, the sequel's terrible. Yeah, I'm definitely not shit.
Definitely not shit.
Oh, sorry, definitely not shit. Sorry.
Wow.
Come on, no, that one, didn't it?
Yeah, my bad.
Ooh. Our audience poll. Definitely not shit 50%.
Oh.
Touching cloth 20% and shit 30%.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's not universally loved, this one.
Mm.
I get it. I get it because
but-
that. Go on.
I'm also the fact is that I don't think the original is universally loved. I think it's got a very strong, it's a proper cult following.
I think it's one of those that if you like it, you love it.
Yeah.
I will say the marketing going with the pull quote this year's Get Out. Fuck off.
Oh, did it?
Like, yeah, like it is one of those cases where I think maybe people are being sold something that it's not. Like, okay, it's a horror film that's got race on top of its mind. This year's Get Out.
I mean, yeah, that is quite, and it's Jordan Peele. It's quite lazy.
Like, really, really lazy. But I get why they've used it in the marketing. But whoever fucking did that quote, nah, fuck off.
I hate that.
Also as well, the Yahya Abdul-Mateen, the second, his when he gets a little bit drunk and pulls out that, what is it? The zinger to the gallery owner, who then responds by saying, I mean, that wasn't spontaneous, you had that in the bank. And he's like, yeah, bitch. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
Also, as well, can we all say this? Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, he's an incredibly handsome man, isn't he?
Good looking dude.
He is. I was looking at him going, he's an incredibly attractive man.
Yeah.
I did like that comment earlier on where it was like, you should get on with some painting and stop doing those chin-ups. Like there were moments in this film that were funny, and like it was good. Like it was good comedy because God knows there's nothing in the original one that's funny.
No, there's not. There really is not.
Bloody hell.
I'm trying to think then, but no, there isn't.
No,
There's really not.
It's the sea of grim. Questions. Rick Kidd at Rick Jacket. As David Cronenberg is shooting his first film in years, what are your favourite Cronenberg films? Given Ian's previously mentioned issues with body horror, this might narrow the list down.
I mean, Videodrome is like my favourite Cronenberg film, and I'll never watch it again. Shivers and Rabid, no thank you. No, really, really no thank you. The Dead Zone I wouldn't mind rewatching again at some point. Existence is interesting. I think his later period stuff not that interesting. I remember fucking watching A Dangerous Method at an LFF press screening in Odeon, Leicester Square, the day after the Tintin fucking showing, and I sat in a seat that was in front of a seat that had Edgar Wright like written on it, and it was like, did Edgar Wright not go and see the premiere of Tintin in London then? Because why is that still there? Which I thought was more interesting than the film itself. Yeah, Videodrome.
Becky.
Well documented, very big fan of Existence.
Yeah.
But
You are a good fan of Existence, yes.
I am, yeah. But I mean, really, there's a lot of good shit in there. In the Scanners is fucking great. Videodrome's great. Dead
Yeah, you're
Zone
a big
Fly.
Scanners fan, aren't you?
I really like
Yeah, I
Scanners.
forgot about Scanners. Scanners is
Naked
great.
Lunch is really good, from what I remember.
I can think of at least 2 things wrong with that title. Sorry.
What's that?
Simpsons.
Oh.
They go to see Naked Lunch, and then Nelson's just like, I can think of 2 things wrong with that.
I completely forgot that joke.
I didn't realise Eastern Promises was him.
Yeah.
But yeah, Scanners probably my favourite.
I really like Naked Lunch.
Mm.
Videodrome as well.
You like Videodrome because it's got Debbie fucking Harry in it.
Is there other reasons to like it?
Oh, can we do a Cronenberg-a-thon?
Nope.
Why?
Because Ian literally.
Can we do a Cronenberg-a-thon?
We'll say.
You 2 can. You can talk about it. Yeah, absolutely. Go nuts.
Yes, I'm gonna go for those. Yeah, but yeah. I mean, the fact that in the space of like a couple of years, well, in the same year, Cronenberg did Videodrome and The Dead Zone.
Can I change my Patreon pick?
Yeah, have money.
What?
What?
Do me a solid.
No. No, we're not picking Videodrome.
Damn it!
No, that's mean.
I think it's fair to say that choices can be vetoed.
Yeah, I think.
I'm just honestly, I'm throwing that out there. If you guys ever want to veto one of my choices, I'm happy for you to. I'm not fucking watching Videodrome.
I will watch anything. So what's yours, Becky? What's your choice?
I can't remember now. What did I say?
Grease 2.
That was it. Yeah. Sorry.
What was yours, Mark?
Stuff.
I haven't done mine yet. So, but what yours getting in, sorry?
Vanilla Sky.
Vanilla Sky. Right. I'm gonna go for the Nick Cage and David Caruso movie, Kiss of Death.
Fucking hell. All right then.
What?
Nothing. You pick some weird stuff. I love you.
What are we covering next week, Ian?
Right, we've got Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Fucking hell, do we? Like, genuinely, is that out on Friday?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
I completely fucking forgot about that film.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll catch up on Pig. And I think that's probably it. I'll probably go see Annette, but I'm not going to ask you guys to.
I don't think we're I'm quite looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see if it's actually playing though.
It doesn't look to be.
Let's have a look. So a wee little look.
Listings for My Cineworld aren't up yet.
Listings for ours aren't up yet.
It's playing The Everyman. It's playing Chapter here, so I've got options. So I'll go see Annette. Right.
We'll get to it.
Pig and Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi. Yes.
I need a pee.
I did all the preamble before we go. So thank you very much for listening, guys. Bye.
Bye, guys. Bye.
This podcast is part of the Pod Syndicate family. For more criminally compelling shows, articles, and conversations, head to wearepodsyndicate.com.